All right, what's up? Welcome to today's live stream. I'm Will, and today is September 15th. I'm actually a little bit under the weather. I thought about not even doing this stream, but I have a goal to do three streams this week. And I no longer work on Sundays, so it was either I missed my goal or I just streamed today. So I decided to just stream today. Excuse me. I don't really have a plan. Mostly just figure it out as I go, which I guess is not that abnormal. That's basically what I do every other stream. But there are a few things that I could do. I've been talking to a few people about finance related things, and they've been asking me questions around, I don't know, I guess finance, whatever. So I could go over stuff like that, like basic stuff like calculating present value, what future value is, cap rates, internal rate of return, that kind of stuff. Or I could continue working on my YouTube Slack bot. That's probably honestly a better idea, because I haven't touched it. Basically, this is a project that I only work on while I'm streaming, and because it's only while I'm streaming, I have very little like contact. Like basically, it's hard to kind of keep track of what's been done because I do everything live, and when I'm live, I'm only halfway present in the work that I'm doing because, you know, I had to pretend to be entertaining. But in any case, I guess I'll go ahead and hop over to my screen and we'll see what things are looking like. All right. So as you can see, I was playing with some Ruby stuff. I was just checking to see what version of Ruby I was running, because I needed to do something, but I can close that for now. And I probably should, you know what? I'm going to switch back to my screen because I need to make sure I don't have any work stuff on my computer. Give me a second. All right, we'll close all of this. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I have all the work stuff closed now. Oh wait, let me confirm. I may have a work browser up because I normally have two browser windows up. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm good. Oh, there is some things that are new. The new iPhone was announced. Obviously I have it here. I've already ordered mine. I got the Max Pro, or the Pro Max, with 512 and natural titanium finish. I was gonna buy another one. Like I kind of, all right, this is gonna sound dumb, but I kind of want two. One specifically for recording videos when I'm on my travels, and then another one as a phone. I got the Pro Max. I really don't like the Max size. I have a Pro Max here. Is too big in my opinion. So I have a 14 Pro here. So like this, I think this is a 12 Pro Max. This is the 14 Pro or something like that. And this is a much better size. And apparently the new version of this phone, because of the thinner bezels, it's a little bit thinner. So I was like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and buy another one. And I will show, basically it said it's not going to ship until November. And I was just like, oh, never mind. I'll just downgrade my 14 Pro to I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see. It says October 9th, but this is a lie. Because when I tried to do it, it failed, and then it updated. I did it on my phone, just FYI. See what it's showing right now. I had to do it again. Let's do, actually, you know what? If I do it just as a phone, I can get the smallest one. Apple Care. Yeah, so basically it's going to take a little bit longer, but who knows, maybe I'll buy another one, because this new iPhone is kind of like, initially I was hating on it, like real talk. I'm still partially hating on it, but some of the things that I really like about it is the fact that you can plug in an SSD and record ProRes directly to the SSD up to ProRes 4K 60, which I don't know, I think that's kind of a big deal, because historically I've only recorded like regular because the file sizes are a little big, and USB 2 is a little slow at 480 megabits per second. So if you're recording large files and you got to transfer it like using what's that thing called, AirDrop, it's not a solution. What's up, Yanni? How you doing? I was just talking about the fact that I was contemplating buying a second iPhone 15 Pro. So I bought a 15 Pro Max, and it's big. Of course, I get the new phone. I get a new iPhone every year. I'm one of those. And this year, like initially, I was talking shit. Like that's what I was saying earlier. But after giving it a little bit of thought, I was like, you know what? There are some compelling features. Number one, it's lighter. This 14 Pro is heavy. Like it's actually heavy, and because I travel a lot, like I care about weight because I'm walking around with it. Plus the battery life on the regular size is kind of trash, to be real. I can barely get through a full day with this. And yeah, the new one, it has the 5x camera, which I think is going to be pretty cool for video. But the main feature was that being able to record directly to an SSD, as well as being able to offload footage from the phone. With 10 gigabits per second, that's a significant bump from 480 megabits per second. If I can do math right, that's about 20 times faster. So now I don't have to deal with AirDrop failing on me. I don't have to deal with Final Cut Pro. So actually, you know what? I can do this. So let's show something in Final Cut Pro, because I think this is something that a lot of folks don't know about, including you, Yanni. So if you record and you have iCloud storage, what you can do, let's wait on Final Cut Pro to open up one day. It claims it's opening. I have a lot of plugins, like audio plugins, so it takes a while. All right. Okay. Yeah, load the event, do the things. Okay. All right, so let me move this window. Let's do not a dual screen setup. We'll do that. All right, so what you could do is you can come into here and you do photos. Now, what sucks about this is that if you want to scrub through this, well, it's scrubbing because I have these locally. But let's say, for instance, I didn't have these locally, which is most of the time. It's like this, it's a wait. And sometimes it freezes oh shit, that's loud. Sometimes it freezes Final Cut Pro. And it's really, really annoying. So I was just like, you know what? I can solve this problem with money. I'm just buy a new iPhone that allows me to transfer the footage via just straight to my computer. And I can organize it the way I want. It doesn't have to be locked into photos or whatever this is, where I don't have any form of organization. I have a very specific method of how I organize things, and I like it to be on my NAS. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. It seems like all of these are loaded, and there's a reason why. It's because I've literally gone and downloaded all of these, so I can basically have footage. I'm editing something right now. Yeah. Anyway, so all that to say is this new iPhone, I'm kind of excited about it right now. Although I'm not excited about the size as much. Yeah, did you get the new iPhone? I'm curious. Or do you even have an iPhone? Yeah, you have an iPhone. Do you have an iPhone? I don't know how I think we talked mostly on Slack, so I don't know what kind of phone you have. Yeah, anyway, that just happened to be up. I wasn't actually trying to talk about that initially. What is this? Appraiser Institute. Yeah, so I don't really have much of a plan. I was saying that I could work on my little Slack bot, and maybe I should. But if there's some things that y'all want to chat about or talk about, now's the time. I'm feeling under the weather, so I'm mostly just here just so I can say I've gotten my stream. Yo, what's good, Casual Economist? Nice to see you here. I am okay, enjoying the cooler weather. It's actually, let's see what it is outside right now. It's significantly cooler than it usually is here. I'm in Houston, by the way. It's 25 degrees. I think that's 75, maybe. Don't quote me on that. We're about to see. Oh, I was close enough. 77. Okay, yeah, it's 77. that's what it is currently outside right now, and it's breezy. So it feels like it's 75. So I'm going to claim that I was right. I'm not going to admit defeat here. But yeah, I was saying how like I can go over some finance stuff, or I don't know, maybe I can go over doing, maybe I don't know, I could edit a photo. I could continue editing this video. I'm doing some technical stuff just to learn some new plugins that I've just bought. Yeah, 25 degrees Celsius. Just FYI, I lived abroad for a while. So yeah. I speak both. I think they call it metric. I don't know what the hell they call it. To me, it's not, honestly, it's not better. I think Fahrenheit is better. I'm one of those. Like, I know them both. So I feel like I'm well qualified to say that Celsius is trash. I'm sorry for anyone who's like, oh, I love Celsius. I think it's dumb. Because it doesn't really get to the heart of like how hot something is. For instance, you know, when it's over 100 degrees sounds hot. Whereas if you're like, oh, it's 45, it's like, it doesn't get to the essence of like, oh, this is really hot. Even though 45 degrees is stupidly hot. Let me see what that is. I think that's like I don't know, like 95, 100 or something like that. Let's see. 45 C to F. Oh, never mind. Goddamn, I'm off. 113. Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I know both. Yeah. Like, I know both too. Well, when I say I know both, I know what it feels like. If you were to say, all right, well, what is it? I don't know if I'd be able to tell you that, but I can tell you when it's hot. So for me, I typically keep my car between 20 and 21 because, you know, I don't have tint for a reason. I decided not to get tint on my car. But yeah, I see someone said, oh, this is Yanni. Hold on, wait. Let's see. Bought iPhone XS when it was the latest one. Decided to stick with it until the break. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, there was a point where I was like, I'm going to stop getting an iPhone every year and I'm going to move to every other year. And it was actually with this right here. So this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And I was just like, when the 13 came out, I was like, no fucks. But then the 14 came out with the dynamic island. I'm like, okay, I have to get one because it looks different. Plus it had the better camera. In the ProMotion, it's a big difference. Now I decided to get the 15. I don't know if you were here, Yanni, but the reason why I decided to get this 15 is because of the USB 3. I don't care about the connector. You know, everyone's like, oh, it has USB-C finally. I give no fucks. I think those people are just dumb. Like, who gives a fuck what kind of connector it is, right? I care more about how fast is it. So 10 gigabits per second, even though it's not as fast as it could have been, I really hoped that they would have did Thunderbolt 4. That makes a lot of sense to me because my iPad's Thunderbolt. And you know, Thunderbolt can do up to 40 gigabits per second. And it allows daisy chaining and all that other kind of stuff. So it would have made sense to me to do that, especially considering that you can plug in an SSD into the iPhone now. So my thought is, okay, well, yes, I can plug in an SSD, but what if I want to also use one of my external mics? How am I going to do that? Are they going to have a solution for me there? Or what if I want to be able to power and, you know, record to this SSD and have a mic? Is there a solution? Or do I have to use my little battery pack, which only charges my phone to like 80% before it dies? So there's a lot of things. You use Apple user wait, I don't understand. Hold on, let me put this in here. I think most American measurement systems are bad except Fahrenheit. Actually, I disagree wholeheartedly. Our systems are useful. They're only bad when you convert. But yeah, that's just, yeah. I like to say that we did manage to put people into space and onto the moon, and we did a mix of both metric and Fahrenheit, or not Fahrenheit, and imperial. But the main issue is just in conversion. I think what we have is sufficient. Like, yeah. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, 100 centimeters, what the hell is that? Like, for me, because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm born here, or like a mile. Like, to me, that makes a little more sense than a kilometer, even though I know that it's 1,000 meters, but like a meter is what is it 100? I don't know how many meters, or is it is it 1,000 centimeters in a meter? I don't know. You're gonna have to teach me about that because I don't know. Let's see here. You got hold on. You Apple user got USB now. We've always had USB. Lightning is technically USB 2. It's just a connector. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is the connector is not the actual stand, like the serialization, the cable essentially, or not even the cable, but the serialization method. So Lightning is USB 2. And yes, you can have USB C, which is just a connector, but that doesn't tell you anything about what version of USB you're using. All right, like you could have a USB-C connector that's using USB 1 or 2 or 3 or 3.1 or 3.2 or 3.2 Gen 1. And I think there's a Gen 2, or it can be 4. So I have a really big issue with USB. I don't think it's good, but I think it's because I actually understand it a little bit more than like your casual person who's just like, oh yeah, USB-C. Now I do understand, like, the whole single cable and all that other kind of crap, but like I don't personally care because I have a lot of professional equipment which don't use USB. So it's like, yeah, my phone does USB, but like I don't really use. I haven't noticed a need ever. So it's like, oh yeah, I wish that I had USB-C for my phone, because I charge wirelessly. Like right now, my phone, like I have it on the charger right now. It's just sitting there on the charger. Now I do have this one connected via USB, or Lightning or whatever you call it. But this is technically my keyboard cable. Anyways, I saw someone say something. Hold on, let me see what I saw. Oh wait, maybe. Oh no, I did see go over finance. All right, well, what about finance do you want to go over? Oh shit. I literally thought I went through and closed out shit that I didn't need to be on my screen. And I didn't. Sorry. No. Let me close this too. We don't need to see all this. Yeah, but what y'all got going on this weekend? Anyone doing anything interesting? Or worse talking about? Oops. Oh, actually, I need to check to make sure my stream is up on whatever that thing is called. Twitch? TwitX? How do I do that? View in browser. All right. Oh yeah. So by the way, I'm streaming on Twitter now. I used to stream on Twitter. I stopped. Oh wait, it looks terrible. Wait a minute. Wait, this looks shitty. What the hell? All right. Well, I don't know what to say. Before, Twitter didn't support 1440p, but as of right now, it don't look like it does. It looks terrible right now. I don't know what that's about. Oh. All right, well, I was gonna say, yo, I'm streaming to Twitter now, but I don't know how long that's gonna last if it looks like that. Oh, and another thing that I've done, there's been an update. So on Twitch, and I don't know, like, if those of you who are watching on Twitch, I'm not sure if this affected anything, but I changed my handle to I am Will Shepherd on Twitch. So I'm now I am Will Shepherd everywhere. Before it was Code and Color, and I had I am Will Shepherd, but for some reason I couldn't stream to that one. And I ended up closing that account, and then I tried to rename this one a while ago. It failed, but it happened to work this time. So yeah, like it's now I am Will Shepherd, which is kind of cool to have this all consistent. You mentioned, wait, I gotta put this up. You mentioned some words I never knew in finance around the beginning of the stream. Maybe, all right, what words? I don't know when you came down here. So one thing that's just important to know is I have no idea who's watching or when they show up or anything, like no idea. But while you figure that out, I'm gonna also try to figure out something. Is there like a stream manager? Can I get to the stream manager somehow? gosh. This is why I need my bot, because like I don't know how to do any of this shit. This is too hard. All right, let's see if I can create a poll. Not a poll, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can add a marker now. We'll just say testing. Did I fix it? Haha, look at that. I'm able to create a marker now. Oh my gosh. Y'all have no idea how long I have been trying to just create markers in Twitch and fail. All right, this is gonna open up new possibilities. By the way, I got a new editor, just FYI. Like, he's gonna be helping me with some stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna be releasing videos soon, hopefully. All right, cool. Well, now that I know that I have whatever this is, I think I need to add something on Ecamm, or not on my Stream Deck to do this. Or maybe I'll just keep this up now. I have a reason to keep this browser up, so I'm gonna put this off to the side here. Or actually, no, I'm gonna put it on my other monitor. I think that's a little bit better. Put this to here. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is actually really cool. I'm able to create markers now. So that should help me a lot. Okay. That's actually quite exciting. All right, let's go ahead and pull up this thing right here, and we'll do devlogs. We'll do a new note. 15. And yeah, what are we doing today? You going to top up the streams for easier viewing? I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, I think so. Well, we have a meeting this weekend, so on Sunday we'll be chatting about, you know, like what this looks like. He was asking questions. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm just like, we'll see. That's the kind of person I am. I'm just like, let's just do something and we'll see. But I do want to do actual video content, so I will be doing videos relatively soon. And really the only thing holding me back from doing videos is the editing. I have a lot of other things on my plate. So yeah, let's see. Talking about calculating present value, future value, cap rates, rate of return. All right, so that's PV. Oh, we'll just say talk about. We also want to talk about FE, cap rates, and the, well, rate of return is technically internal rate of return. I'm not sure why, like, what's going on here? That's weird. Oh, do I not have to do? No, I do. What the hell is going on here? Interesting. Huh, okay. Interesting. All right, yeah, so we can talk about that, I guess. All right, so what is present value? Present value is fairly straightforward. Present value is the value of a particular cash flow at a particular moment in time, typically now. So if I gave you $100 right now, well, the present value of that $100 is $100. Now, where present value starts to get a little bit more interesting is when you need to figure out what a future value is worth presently. That sounds weird, but let's say, for instance, I'm like, yo, Yanni, I'm gonna give you $100 next year. Well, what is that worth, right? And in order to figure out what it's worth, I had to come up with a discount rate. And that discount rate is basically, how do I want to say it? the discount rate is essentially compensating you for the time value of money along with your risk. Typically, your discount rate is going to be your best alternative. You're basically your risk-free. Like if you had some other alternative that's going to give you a specific return, that's generally what you'll use as your discount rate. However, for like whenever I do analysis or whenever I'm building models, I will typically base it off of the like the standard Fed interest rate. So let's go look at what the Fed rate is right now. Or can I do that? Yeah, I can. All right. So we'll do Fed risk free rate. Wait, is this daily? Oh, I guess it is daily. I don't want to look at daily. Maybe we could look at not daily. All right, well, let's just say we're going to use this right here. This 3 month, which I don't know if I would consider, I wouldn't actually use that, but it's it's basically 5.5%. So let's just say that, you know, that is our discount rate, right? So whenever we calculate the present value of future cash flows, we have to first discount those future cash flows by that discount rate. All right, so we're gonna do simplified stuff. Should I use Excel? I don't like Mac or Excel, but whatever, we'll use it. I don't care. The finance conversation is the only time I understand what's going on. Hey, well, I don't understand what's going on ever. So, I mean, the fact that you understand something is you're doing better than me, bro. All right, so I don't know. Let's first set up a little thing. So we'll do wait. Why can't I make this bigger? Okay. So we'll do a year 0, year 1. Up to 5. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I am like, yo, Yanni, I'm gonna give you $100 next year. So next year it's gonna be this year right here. You're gonna get $100, right? And I'm like, I just need you to do some stuff for me. So in your mind, you may be like, oh yeah, $100, but like in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is $100 in a year, right? Like, well, let's change it up. Let's say that you loan me $100. I think that's a better idea. Let's say you loan me $100, and I'm like, yo, Yanni, I'm gonna pay you back. But I'm gonna pay you back next year. Well, there's some risk involved there. There's the chance that I may not pay you back. There's also the opportunity cost that you take on by giving me $100. Because let's say, for instance, instead of giving me that $100, you can simply invest it in the stock market, which I think on average, let's use as our discount rate. Let's use, I don't know, the average stock, whatever the hell, which is like 6%. So this is gonna be our discount rate. So yeah, we're gonna assume, which is almost 5.5%. It's not that far off. So yeah, we have a discount rate of 6%. So you can give me $100, today, right? So let's say this is gonna be Yanni. This is for Yanni giving me money. So we'll just say Yanni. All right, and then you're gonna give me $100. So we're gonna say you're gonna get $100 pour, and let's make this into accounting numbers just to make my life a little bit easier. So you're gonna see a negative cash flow of $100, and I'm promising to pay you back in, I don't know, in a year. So like, we'll pays back in 1 year. All right. So there's 2 ways you can look at it. There's all right, I'm giving you this money. I could go and invest it and make 6%, which I think 6% of 100 is 6. So you can, like, you'll have $106 at year one, which, by the way, that's kind of like a discount rate if you think about it. But it also goes the other way, which is, well, all right, well, I say I'm going to give you this amount of money in the future. What does that worth to me today? So you can discount it by the same rate to get back to this number here. So let's figure out how we can get to that number. So let's say here, I'm going to say, all right, well, I'm going to give you back this $100. And they're going to do 1 plus whatever this discount rate is over here. I wonder if these, let's see, I need to learn if like these same commands, oh, it does. Look at that. F4 works here. Okay, all right, that's interesting. All right. So we'll do that right there. And I guess so. All right, so you get back $106, and hopefully we can agree that 6% of 100 is $6. So currently, like the other way of saying that is that $106, and if like in a year from now, well, that's worth $100 today. So the present value of 106 is $100. That's it. Hold on, let's see. When you code, I'm lost. Just open to learn about 1 to 2% of what you're doing. Well, I think that's the best way to learn, is just to watch, which is honestly part of the reason why I do it, because when I was coming up, there wasn't YouTube. In fact, Google wasn't really a thing as far as I know. I don't remember really getting into Google until almost college, now that I think about it. I think Google did exist when I was in high school, but like it wasn't what it is today. And I don't remember using it when I was in high school. Let me see when Google came out. Google. Okay, that's not what that's not what I was looking for. Google search came out when. So it was launched in 1997. Which may explain why I wasn't really like, yeah. So when I graduated, it had been out for like nine years. But you got to keep in mind that like back then, computers weren't, as dominant as they are today. So not everybody had computers or internet. I'm one of those folks. So yeah, like Google did exist, but I rarely used it. And like I remember when YouTube came out, it was very different from what it is today. Well, number one, there wasn't this thing called live streaming. But number two is like the videos were just vastly different. I was an early YouTuber, by the way. I was monetized and was making money, and part of that money helped me go through school, to be real. I don't really know why I quit, but I did quit. What's 56K? What's that? What do you mean? 56K. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. So let's say that, instead of I'm going to pay you back in year one. Wait. Oh, okay. I see what you said. Okay. 56K modems. Yes. Although I will say that I remember when things were in baud. Do you remember that? So 28 baud modem. I don't think nobody know about that baud. It's really old. Let's see here. Let's see what the bit rate is of baud. All right, so let's say you had a 1200 baud modem. well, this is 76, so let's be more realistic, I guess. Let's say in 98 or whatever. 3,429 baud is equivalent to 56 kilobits per second. Yeah, things were a little bit different back in the day. I remember when broadband had just been announced. Like we didn't have broadband, but my dad, they had it. And I remember, like, this was when Napster came out. I remember being able to download those games so quick. I was like, I would just download shit just because I could. It was awesome. It was so fast, and you can actually use the internet without like people being on the phone. Or I'm sorry, even when people are on the phone, you can still use the internet, which was kind of dope. All right, anyway, let's play this out right here. So let's say I'm gonna pay you back in year 1. Well, the present value of well, let's just keep going out. Let's pull this out. Let's see if my formula will work. Yes, it will. And I'm confirming to make sure that this is indeed correct, and they are. All right, look at that. Cool. So yeah. So let's say that you were to like invest your money into, I don't know, somewhere there's going to earn you 6%. Well, in year 5, that's what that would be worth. It's $133.82. Doesn't sound like a lot, and honestly, it may not be, but this is on $100, right? I wonder if, wait, let me see what I base this number on. Ah, shit. Okay, let me do something. I shouldn't have did it this way. I probably should have did this right here, and I can do that, and then we can do negative that, and let's. All right, so the reason why I did that is so that I can scale this number. So let's make this 1,000, right? Or let's make it 10,000. Okay, we got to make it a little bit bigger. All right, or you know, let's make 100,000, and we'll make it a little bit bigger again. All right, so you see how this is? Well, it's growing. So it's like at $100, it may not seem like it's that big of a deal, but this is actually quite significant. You know, if like you loan someone $1,000 and then at the end of 5 years you're going to get back 133, right? Obviously this is just present value, nothing else. Does that make sense, Yanni? Like, is present value making sense? And I'm gonna give you here we'll say present value. Wait a minute, I wonder if does Obsidian support LaTeX? Give me a second. Let me see if this supports LaTeX. The community plugins and LaTeX. Quick LaTeX for Obsidian. Okay. What does this allow me to do? Okay. Ugh. All right. I don't really know. All right. We're gonna use ChatGPT for this. So all right. So the present value is simply the future value divided by 1 plus I raised to the wherever you're gonna get your number, like wherever you're gonna get your money back. So this is basically this formula here. So we're going to say PV is equal to your future value over well, yeah, I'm just going to do that. This means over for me right now. It's going to mean over 1 plus I raised to, I don't know, some number n. I guess we should use a capital N. All right, so we're going to use ChatGPT, I think, to give me this in LaTeX. Give me the present value formula in LaTeX. Now let's install this plugin right quick. Install and enable it. All right, now how does this work? I don't even know how this works. All right, so I do $, I think. Okay, so we'll do dollar sign, dollar sign. Oh my gosh. I literally just said in latex. Oh my gosh. In latex, please. There we are. Cool. There was a point in my life where I had to write this stuff, but like I'm past that point. I will not be doing that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. So they used R. I used I. R and I, same difference. Rate, I, interest, tomato, tomato. Doesn't matter. All right, cool. So yeah, we have our present value here. Cool. Now you may be like, all right, cool. I understand present value. Well, what's future value? Well, you could define it in terms of present value, right? So if you know what the present value is, which is like the value of the thing today in today's dollars, well, future value is the value of something that you're going to get back, right? So if I'm like, hey, Yanni, I'm gonna give you $1 million in 20 years. Well, the future value is that. It's $1 million. It's up to you to figure out what is $1 million in 20 years or whatever number I said. What is $1 million in 20 years worth to you today? All right. So you can basically plug in numbers here, right? So let's do that. So let's say using our little formula here, we're going to say 1 million. And I'm not doing a model, so like you're just gonna have to accept that this is gonna be messy. Actually, we don't need any of this anymore. Yeah, we don't need any of this anymore. Let's just delete all that. So we'll do 1 million. Oh, maybe I should have kept it for the formatting at least. All right, so this is my future value. And let's move this right here. All right, so that's my future value. So the goal for you, Yanni, is to figure out, all right, well, yeah, you're giving me $1 million. Oh, in 20 years. I think that's important. What is $1 million worth in today's years or in today to you? So that's where you would get your PV. That's why present value is important. So that's simply your future value, 1 million, over 1 plus whatever the discount rate is. Let's just pretend that it's 6%. Maybe it's 8%. I don't know. But we're going to use 6% for now. And the number of years. So that would be 20. So $311,000. So in other words, if you were to put, or maybe let's say if I were to put 311, why is it, hold on, I got to figure out why is it formatting this weirdly. It's annoying. I don't know if you see that. It's like weird. It's annoying me actually. The fuck. Oh, okay. It's okay. All right. General. Fine. This is general. All right. Cool. Yeah. So in other words, if I'm like, I know that I told Johnny I'm gonna give him $1 million in 20 years. Well, effectively, what I can do is put $311,000 and some change into a bank account. And if that bank account is earning me 6% interest, I think that's the number that I use. What did I use for the discount rate? I probably should have wrote, yeah, I used 6%. Let's pull that out. We'll say discount rate. We'll just call it rate. How about that? That's why it's called R, I guess. So we're gonna say 6%, and let's move this to be that. Yeah, cool. All right, so you see how this is working out? I'm on econ knowledge wasting away because I need a PhD or master's to use it. I don't know if you need all that to use it. Well, economics is not what a lot of people think. I think I know that like certain folks have added rigor to it, but like economics is a social science. It is the study of how people make decisions. It's not just about money. I know a lot of people think that, but it's not really about that. It's more behavioral science than anything. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Does this make sense, Johnny? Like the fact that like I can just throw $311,000 into an account, and in 20 years, assuming that it's growing at 6%, that it would grow into $1 million in 20 years, because that's basically what this is. All right, so I think I've covered present value and future value. Like future value, it's literally the number that you say. It's generally only interesting when you go back to get it into present value. All right, so cap rate is about the amount of, it's not necessarily return. I'm gonna phrase it in operate or income or net income. Technically net operating income. So it's the amount of net operating income. And let me back up. I'm speaking everything. All of this is from the perspective of real estate. This still applies to everything else, but I know real estate a little bit more. That's how I think about this. So like, you're gonna have to just bear with that. All right. So capitalization rate is the amount of NOI. Well, it's not the amount, it's the ratio of NOI to the amount of money that you paid to generate that NOI. Right. So let's move this. We don't need that. I think I've noted it here. Cool. All right. So cap rate is, let's say that I purchase an asset for $1 million. So presently, if I purchase something for $1 million, it's worth $1 million. I think that's $1 million. Yeah, that's $1 million. Yeah, cool. And I'm also going to get rid of these cents. That's not really useful to me right now. We'll use round numbers. So yeah, I pay for I pay $1 million. And let's say that, for this $1 million, I'm going to get a net operating income of, I don't know, let's just say $70,000 a year. So we'll just say NOI would be $70,000 a year. I literally just said, don't give me these, and it's doing it. My gosh. All right. So what is the cap rate? Well, like I said, it's just a ratio. So we can say, move that to here. So that's going to be equal to this divided by that. And this is in percent. So the cap rate would be 7%. All right. That's it. Yo, what's up? How you doing? Real estate, stocks, bonds, art, gold, other things that people value. Yeah, that's your answer. Although I'm real talk, like the things that have generated the best returns are not stuff like that. It's my education in myself, like continually learning, developing new skills, that kind of thing. It's easy to think that you could just go and buy your way into being rich, and you can over time. But a lot of people want to be rich now. And I think the best way to do that is to not only just learn skills, but also apply them, and not only just apply them, but go out and meet people, network, that kind of thing. All right, so we have cap rate here. So we see that cap rate, all right, so we'll do this again right here. So cap rate, and we'll say capitalization, capitalization. Is it A? I think it's A, capitalization rate. We're gonna probably have to use ChatGPT to help me with that. I think it's capitalization. That's how you spell it. Yeah. So your cap rate, I'm just gonna call it cap rate, is going to be your basically the amount of money you paid. So I'm just gonna call it your purchase price of the asset. And I'm gonna have to tell ChatGPT to format this to make it look like it's a formula. Because I think, is it div? Is that how you do it? Oh, it's frac. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna do frac. Okay, maybe we're not gonna do frac. Oh, no, I'm tripping. All right, we're gonna do frac. Fuck it. We're just gonna do this. We'll have ChatGPT formatted. Over your no, I'm sorry. It's gonna be your NOI over that. So that's net operating income divided by that. All right, so let's have ChatGPT give us that in LaTeX. For cap great in latex. If this don't get me in latex, I'm like, okay, it did. All right. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like CMV, but it's the same as what I just said, the present value. Like current market present, it's the same shit. I'm gonna say PV because we've already introduced PV. I don't like CMV. We'll use PV. All right, cool. Let's see. What kind of education and skills would you recommend to study, learn? What you enjoy. It's not the answer you want, but it's the real answer. I didn't go out and say, let me go and learn things that can make money, because to be real, like learning things isn't going to make you money. I mean, it will, like it can, but it's more than just going out and learning things. Now, if you're really just curious, what did I go and learn? Well, I learned how to make music. So I learned FL Studio initially, and then I read the Roland book for the Phantom X8 that I had and learned how to use that synthesizer, the workstation. Then I learned Logic Pro and learned all about MIDI, because Logic Pro is very MIDI heavy. So I learned a lot about MIDI and like how to get that set up, as well as OS X's audio routing, all that kind of stuff, like the audio MIDI setup. That's why I'm so familiar with not this, right? But that's why I'm so familiar with this right here. And I can set up whatever I need to set up, whether it be an aggregate sound device or whether it be routing to virtual sound devices. I then went on to learn Ableton Live, which is why I'm able to, do things in Ableton Live these days. I also learned Pro Tools, which is why, like, to this day, like, I know keyboard commands of Pro Tools, as well as how to set up a console in a studio, as well as how to track audio into Pro Tools, how to arrange using Pro Tools, how to mix in Pro Tools. Yeah, I got really deep into that, actually. This is where I learned a lot about, specifically like audio effects, like compression and equalization, the difference between reverb and delay, difference between saturation and distortion. Also learned Reason, and this is where I got into more of the, like, I guess more of the synthesis, but the automation of things. So using control voltages, CV, to like cause certain things to happen, like syncopation or gating, that kind of thing. Like it is starting to make sense that like what you learn, it doesn't matter. So all of these things that I've learned, they've helped me make stuff, meet people, make money, all these things. Of course, I can say go read these books, but I don't know if that's going to help you. Like, I had a lot of music books that I read. Like, I learned how to play piano. I spent 3.5, 4 years doing that in my life, as well as the euphonium, baritone, as well as the trombone and saxophone and trumpet. Those were like 7, 8, 9 years kind of thing. Also guitar, knowing the difference, like how to like do chords. Bar chords were very hard for me. But like just knowing how to read guitar music, I think it's guitar tabs or something like that. Learning how to read regular music, which I think I learned early on in life. So not only am I literate I can read the words that most people can read, I also can read music, whether that be rhythm or the actual, music. I can actually play music a little bit too. I'm not good at it anymore. What else? I took courses in audio engineering from folks who actually ran successful studios here in Houston. So I learned all about, digital audio and like acoustics and the engineering behind all these things, like miking up stuff, like miking up a set for a session. So like, drum sets or vocalists or, instruments, like, if a guitar, for instance, they're going to play and they're likely going to run and control their sound. So they're going to route through their cabinet within their amplifier to tune their sound, and it's up to me to, you know, get it mic'd up so that it sounds like it sounds to the musician, right? So there's that. I mean, most of the things that I learned is not it's not for making money. It was just because I had an interest in it. That's the point I'm trying to make. But I can keep going. I learned a lot about security, like at a very young age. I actually got my Network Plus, Security Plus, A Plus certifications. I think by freshman or sophomore year of college. I went on to get my CCNA and the CC something security, whatever the fuck, the Cisco certifications when I was younger. So I read all the books around that, around like networking. So I had a very solid basis in networking by the time I went to college, actually. Not only did I read the books, I had already been doing it. Like, that's the thing, was that I read the books to get a better understanding of what I was doing, or to help troubleshoot the issues that I was running into for myself, or when other people would say, hey, can you go and help me do these things? Yeah, what else did I do? I mean, the A plus was because I was building computers at the time and I just liked it, I guess. And you know, building computers that can handle some of the things that I wanted to do, specifically music, that's what drove a lot of it. Also, when I was doing video, like, you know, I had a camera. I had to learn how to use a camera, so like I read the instruction manual. Like Google, like I was saying earlier, Google wasn't a big part of my life growing up because I grew up without Google. So yeah, there's that. What else? I mean, I went to college, I guess, and I learned a lot of theory in college, which I think was good for me. Looking back, I think it was good. Initially, I was just like, what is this? This is all bullshit or whatever. But like now, I'm very glad that I learned theory, because like I learned fundamental stuff. And because of the way that, you know, we were taught at my school, it was like, you're going to learn fundamentals. It's your responsibility to build up to these other things, because at the end of the day, they're just abstractions of these fundamentals. So, I mean, there's a whole course load of stuff that I did for that. I did linguistics, which is the study of language. I did music theory in college as well. And also, this is when I started Chinese. I did French all throughout elementary and high school, just FYI. But it was in college where I took up Mandarin and did that for a good while. In fact, I still do that. I took, this wasn't a course. So I also volunteered for the school's TV station. We also had an audio, like a radio station, the jazz station, but I only did the TV show. So we had a show called Trinity TV, I think. I don't know. Let me see. I actually don't know what it was. I think it's called Trinity TV, maybe. No, Trinity University TV. So I was a camera operator, as well as I would help set up for the show, because it was a live show. And Tiger TV. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I remember Tiger TV now. So I never took the course, but I'm like, well, I can still go and do the shit. So I did camera operator for live show. I also helped with operating the console, talk to the producers, that kind of thing. I did want to take some of the media courses, but I had such a full course load, I couldn't. So I was just like, I'll just volunteer, you know, and do stuff like that. What else did I do? I don't know, it's important. Oh, I did economics and accounting when I was in college. In fact, I enjoyed economics so much that had I did or discovered economics in my freshman year, I likely wouldn't have majored in computer science. Like, same with statistics. So I took statistics, I think my second semester of junior year, and I took economics my senior year or something like that. And I was just like, man, like, what the hell? I like that more. Did psychology courses and, you know, logic courses. There is this really interesting course called symbolic logic. Let's see. Trinity University, maybe. Yeah, here we are. So I did 1 and 2. I guess it doesn't. Okay, all right. I was hoping that there would be a syllabus, but maybe not. So it says a formal introduction to the formal deductive logic covering propositional logic, first order predicate logic, typical whatever the hell, I don't know, symbolization, truth table, all that kind of stuff, validity, soundness. And then let's see what 2 was. Okay, review of first order logic from more abstract, introduction to set theory, metalogical results, including soundness, completeness, compactness, Laumenheim-Skolem theorem. Oh, Gödel's, all right, I remember this. Gödel's incompleteness theorems, connection. Yeah, so I did this, right? Like, again, this is just to show that like none of the things that I learned and was interested in had anything to do with, oh, I can go make money. And like, no. In fact, I think a lot of the investment stuff that's coming just from being around people who did that and from a young age, right? So I won't get into who, but there was a, let's just say this company here, the CEO and chairman he's no longer here. But yeah, he played a big part in my life growing up. Him and my grandpa and his wife and his family. And, he was into, that side of life, as well as a lot of other people who I know. So I learned just thinking about money a different way from different people like that. Yeah. So I don't really have books that I just went out and read other than later in life. There's one book I will recommend, The Intelligent Investor. So that is, who is it by? I don't remember who it's by, but it's the guy who Warren Buffett, I think it was his mentor. Let's see, Intelligent Investor. Oh yeah, Benjamin Graham, of course. I don't know how I forget that. So yeah, I read this book at a very relatively young age. I think I was like in my early 20s, very like late teens when I read this. And sometimes I go back to it. It's a really good book. Of course, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, get rich quick. It's not that. Hopefully by now you're starting to understand that a lot of this is just be a lifelong learner. Talk, think. That's the part that I think a lot of people miss. They think they can just go read a book and become book smart, and then all of a sudden that's going to turn into something. I'm gonna be real. I know some incredibly smart people, like brilliant people. Just being smart, just knowing a bunch of shit don't mean anything. There are a lot of really smart people who know a lot of stuff who are poor. Just real talk. Now, I imagine you're not listening to them right now. And the reason is because they don't put themselves out there. They don't talk. They don't write stuff, and put it out there. So at the end of the day, it's like you have to go out and do something and you have to be seen. Kind of like right now, you're watching me right now. And I'm talking about these kind of things, but that's not the reason why, people want to give me opportunities or I know things. I don't know how to explain it. You just gotta do stuff, put in work. That's what I tell the people who I'm close with. It's just work. If you want to make money, work. And I don't mean necessarily work for someone. I mean put in the work. If you want to learn how to invest, well, go invest. That's how you learn. You don't go read a book. I mean, dumb people, I shouldn't say that. Certain people will go out and be like, I'm gonna go read a book. I have never been that way. I'm more I'm gonna go and do it and learn that way. So most of the things that I learned by doing it first. And then it's I want to learn more. And then I will go and read a little bit, and, just keep doing it. And over time, a lot. Right. And the same with programming. I didn't learn how to program by reading. Well, I did technically. I read the TI-83 manual. I think it was chapter 16. I want to see now. TI-83 manual. I want to look it up because I want to see if I remember the chapter. Maybe I'm wrong. And watch it not be 16. And I'm gonna come up with an excuse and be like, it was years ago. Let's go to chapter 16. I'm pretty sure. Oh, ANOVA. Okay, I know about ANOVA too. The analysis of variance and shit. Oh, that's interesting. I remember seeing that and didn't know what the fuck it was, but like after doing a bunch of graduate stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is now. Also, that's another thing. I went to graduate school for a while, but I did math in graduate school. Oh yeah, look, I'm right. Look at that. You saw 16 programming. Look at that. Or is it not gonna work? Well, all right, it's not gonna work now. Oh, nope, here it is. All right, perfect. Look at, all right, so we got to go back just a few more pages. I was right. I remember this. All right, so let me put some context here. I got this calculator as a Christmas gift. My mom put it on layaway when I was in 7th grade. And I remember this because like that was the gift that I wanted, and I was extra excited when I got it. And I literally read the manual, and I discovered, I'm trying to go to this first page on programming. This is really hard. I wish I could just download this somehow. Let's see, maybe I can save as PDF, save. Yeah, let's do that. I think this will probably be better because this is painful. It's just waiting on it to load. Oh shit, oh my gosh. This sucks. Okay, at least we're in programming. So I was right. It is 16. Look at that. After, how old was I? I don't even remember. Like after this many years, I remember what chapter was exactly. So now I'm really keen to just see what it is, because like this is almost like nostalgia for me. I haven't seen this in such a long time. And the fact that I remember it is pretty impressive to me. 300, I think it was 300. No, maybe not. Okay, so it's definitely in the, oh, here we go. Okay, it finally came up. Okay. Getting started, volume of a cylinder. All right, so I was in my Algebra 2 class. Basically, because remember, I got it for Christmas, so like the next year, basically after winter break, we were doing Algebra 2. And there is a little bit of geometry in Algebra 2, at least where I went to school. And I remember like clicking on, it wasn't a click, it was an actual physical book. It was about this tall, about, I don't know, about that thick. And I remember reading this right here. And I thought to myself, I was like, oh, I can do this so it can do my homework for me. That was the reason why I wanted to learn how to program. It wasn't, oh, I want to make money. Like, I didn't give a fuck. And even now, I don't think I really give a fuck. It was just like, oh, I can do this and I don't have to do something else that I don't like to do anymore. And yeah, I learned how to program by reading this. And I imagine like most people my age or younger, likely also, not younger, I'm sorry, or older, probably also learned how to program this exact way, where it's just like, you know, there was a book or a manual and they read it, or they were around people who, you know, knew about programming and, you know, they play with computers a lot, so they learned. I wrote my first programs on a calculator. So yeah, just to give you a little bit of insight, you know, like imagine, I don't have my TI 83 anymore, unfortunately. I also don't have my 89 anymore. I have the CAS, whatever the new one is. And back then, the way that you would do letters is you would type the number X amount of times until you got to that letter. So say for instance, A was on number 1. Well, you would click one time to get A. But let's say you wanted C, you would click 1 3 times to get C, and then you could press the arrow and then you can do another, like basically you just do that. I think it's called T9 or something like that. So that's how I wrote my first programs, was was on a freaking calculator doing shit like that, which, yeah, interesting. I don't know if I would do that again in life. I don't know if I have the patience for it anymore. But yeah, this was like how I got into this, you know. And I guess, you know, just learning how to do this translated into learning how to do other things, which is why I say like investing in myself, in my own education, that's been the thing that's paid off the most. It hasn't been like, oh, what courses or what books. It's a combination of things that are unrelated, like learning how to do photography with a digital camera. Turns out there's a lot of overlap. You won't notice it then. Like when I was younger, I didn't know this, but now I know that has a lot of applications in linear algebra, and there's a lot of applications in computer graphics. Like a lot of those things translate. So, and same with audio. Digital audio, like the sample rates and all that kind of stuff. Like I learned about Nyquist when I was doing my audio engineering classes, I should say. And at the time, you learn, there's sample rate and all this kind of stuff. And like, if you want to represent a sample over a certain frequency, you have to basically have your sample rate at double that frequency. Like it's stuff like that where you're not just thinking, at least, I don't know, maybe some people aren't, but but like a lot of people aren't thinking, how does this relate to other things? So I guess that's the other thing is like, can you look at life or look at the things that you're seeing and say, I see a connection between this and something else, and you just go and explore. Does that give you an answer? That's a very long-winded answer, Stephen. But the answer to your question is, I don't know what you should go. You just go learn the things that you have an interest in and learn it until you're satisfied and move on to something else. And maybe one day you will come back to it and be like, oh yeah, there's something more that I want to learn. And I think I've talked about cap rates. I've definitely talked about cap rates. So let's talk about IRR, because I'm still answering Yanni's request to go over these words that he said. Let me bring it up if I can find his request. So this is what he asked earlier. Calculating present value, future value, cap rates, rate of return, which is technically IRR for me. Let's do IRR. So IRR is, I'm gonna give you a very technical definition. I'm using quotes because it's not going to be a definition per se. It's going to be more of a formula. All right. So, actually, before we do that, we have to talk about something else. So we talked about present value, and we talked about future value, but there's also something called a net present value. So we'll say net present value. Also, or AKA NPV. All right. So the net present value is going to be basically the value. How do I want to say it? If you take your present value and you subtract I think it's the future value, that's going to give you your net present value. All right. All right. And let's get into that. All right. So let's say, for instance, you're going to like get this, I don't know, let's say $100,000. I think that's, $100,000. And let's say that at some point in time, I'm going to give you $200,000. Let's say double it. All right. So this is going to be a later point in time. Let's just say that this is 5 years later. All right. So if you're a simple person, you'll be like, I'm going to make $100,000. If you're a little bit more sophisticated, you're going to be like, one day I learned that I had to discount, future money to the present value. So we're going to do that. So we're going to use our present value formula, which is going to be equal to our future value divided by 1 plus, we're going to use our same rate over here. We're going to raise that up to 5. So that's $149,000. So what I then will do is say, whatever this value is, I'm going to subtract the original loan amount, $100,000. So we'll just say that this is going to be equal to, we're going to do NPV. Again, I'm not really doing a model. That's why this is disorganized. I don't really care. You just have to deal with that. So we're going to do this minus, I did it the wrong way. It'd be this minus that. All right, so the net present value is $49,000. All right, so net present value is your current value, and you subtract that from your future value adjusted to present value. Does that make sense? It's a convoluted, I'm not doing a good job of explaining that, but that's what it is. This is your future value, the future payment that you're going to receive, discounted, to present day value. And so in this case, it'll be $149,000, assuming a 6% rate of return. Now, obviously, if this goes up, that number changes, right? So you see it goes to 136, and then this number goes down to 36,000. All right, so you remember that this rate of return is based off of what you can reasonably get elsewhere. So we'll put this back to 6%. All right, here's the reason why we needed to do that. Because your IRR, and internal rate of return. So internal rate of return, IRR. The formula for that, and you'll understand why I need to introduce net present value first, is going to be this. It'll be NPV. It's technically it's not NPV. It is, but it's such that NPV is equal to 0. So we're just going to set NPV to 0. So we have to figure out, based off of some future value, and we're going to do this division here, and we're going to say 1 plus I raised to the n, like this. So what we're really doing, let's use the real numbers that we have. So I is going to be, we're going to keep I here. So internal rate of return is what you get when you set NPV to 0 and you solve for I, your rate. So you do algebra, essentially. That's what it is. You just do a little bit of algebra, and that gives you your internal rate of return. And I think the best way you can think about the internal rate of return is the amount of money that you would have made, the amount of money that you made while that money is locked up into whatever investment. And we're gonna let's hold on. Let's do some things first. I don't think I need any of this stuff anymore. I don't need any of this stuff anymore. The cool thing about Excel is that you can almost ignore what IRR is from a formula perspective, and you can just be like, oh yeah, use the IRR function. There's an IRR function. That's why Excel is kind of dope. So you don't even have to know anything. You could just type in the form. Well, I don't know if that's 100% true, but for the most part, you don't really need to know anything. You can just type in formulas. All right. So anyway, let's say that you're gonna do like $1,000,000 or $100,000. Okay. Let's make this 100,000. So we're gonna say this is gonna be year 0. All right, and then we'll do year 1. Okay, so let's say that we're gonna calculate this out 5 years. I like doing 5 years. So you're going to loan or pay money, $100,000 for some asset or whatever. And let's say that while this is locked up, this is going to pay you, let's say $7,500 a year. So we'll just mark that up. Oops. All right. Now, the other part is that not only are you going to get this money here every year, but you'll also get back your principal. This is your principal or your equity, whatever you want to call it. So we'll put our $100,000 here. I think that's not, why did that not format? Yeah, that's 100,000. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to figure out, all right, what is this worth? What is all this worth? So maybe I should say, we're gonna have to total these. So we're gonna say sum here, and we'll just say that's gonna be equal to this. Oops. We'll say equal to the sum of that. Wait, why is that tripping at me now? All right, let's put a 0 here. All right. And cool. So let's figure out what our IR is. So we'll just say IR. We're just going to use a formula for this. So we'll say IR. And you see here, it takes the values. IR is a little bit weird here. You just put in your future cash flows right here. And, oh, did I miss something? I think I did. Values. shit, am I gonna have to figure out how IRR works in this? All right, let's go to look at the docs, Excel, docs, IRR. I forget if you had to put in something else. I've actually forgotten. This isn't the docs. What the hell is this? The fuck? Wait, does Excel not have docs? There used to be a thing for, you know what, maybe if I press F1. No, that doesn't work here. Shit, how do I find, let's see, IRR. All right, here we are. I'm like, how come when I Google, it gives me everything but the thing I asked for? So we want this right here, the IRR function. All right, so I think, all right, the values must contain at least one positive value. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, so let's move this here. And we'll move that here. And this is gonna be 1 to the left. All right, so we'll say equal IRR. Oops, let's move this over here. Equal IRR, and it'll be of these things here. 8%. Cool. All right. So I missed a negative, so I'm glad that I was able to find these in the docs. All right, so what you can see here is that if you were to, you know, pay $100,000 for some asset, and year 1 is going to give you $7,500, year 2 is going to give you $7,500, year 3 $7,500, yada yada yada, and then you get your money back. Well, that's a 8% internal rate of return, right? So another way of saying that is how much money did you make? And of course you need to adjust these for the present value, right? So these are all future values, right? So we'll just say, we're gonna say FV here, and then we'll say PV. So at this point, this is going to be equal to, we got to figure out what our discount rate is right quick. Let's put that in here. Honestly, this is started like, maybe I will do it. No, I'm not gonna do a model. I don't want to do it. We're gonna say rate. This is gonna be 6%. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out the present value of all of these cash flows. So in year 0, what's the present value? Well, it's technically that, but we're still gonna put it in as a formula. So that's gonna be equal to whatever that is, divided by 1 plus whatever this rate is. All right. And then this is going to be raised to the 0th power. Now, I think when you raise anything to 0, it's just 1. So let's just give you back the same thing. And then I hope I could just drag these out. Ah, shit, no, I can't. Fuck. Shit. Give me a second. I should order this differently. Oops, cancel, don't do anything. We'll just do that, and then we'll put a new line here. All right, cool. So now instead of doing this formula, C5, no, C6, what is that? Yeah, so instead of doing C6 here, I'm gonna do C9. It's the same, but now when I do this, I should get back the actual present values of things, right? So in year 1, you know, I'm getting $7,500, but it's a year from now, assuming a 6% rate. So I discount it, which means that present value is only worth 7,000. And then we move on to year 2, it goes down to 67 or 66. Then it goes to 62, yeah. All right, anyway. So what I then need to do is I got to figure out, okay, well, what are these, what's this sum here, right? So we are going to say it's equal to sum, whatever these things are. Okay, so you put in $100,000. Over the course of 5 years, not only do you get your $100,000 back, but remember you discounted it, so it's worth less, but you also earned money, you earned cash flows while it was locked up. So that 8% internal rate of return yielded you $26,000, right? So yeah. Or another way of saying that is that it's the interest rate that makes the net present value equal to 0. That's the other way of saying it. Let's have ChatGPT give us a formula in LaTeX. All All right, give me the formula in LaTeX for internal rate of return. All right, yeah, here we are. Cool. All right, cool. So this is our formula for IRR, right? You're solving for I, or for R, and yeah, they call it R here. Man, I don't know. I wish they would use I, but I guess that's fine. You're solving for R, right? For the sum of cash flows. So you can almost ignore the sum part really, and just figure out, all right, well, once I know my net present value, because net present value assumes all of that other stuff. Once I know that, set it equal to 0 and then solve for I. And I think that's what this says here, is R. Yeah, that makes the net present value equal to 0. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. I had to check just to make sure it's right, because sometimes, ChatGPT doesn't give you right information. And yeah, so that's IRR. So yeah, that's a little bit of. So what you're seeing here, like honestly, if I were more organized, what we can eventually build is something called a DCFA, discounted cash flow analysis, like that. So yeah, basically you build a discount. It's hard for me to say the full words because I'm not used to saying them. You build your discounted cash flow analysis, and then you can calculate your IR. And what you just saw is something that is very similar to a discounted cash flow analysis, where it's just like, you figure out how many years. Actually, let's see. Produce a DCFA for a one, whatever that is, a loan. With a rate of, let's say, 8% over a 5-year term. Maybe I should say create it as a table. Okay, I wanted to create. Is it gonna? Oh, let's see if ChatGPT is gonna give me a table. No, it's giving me formulas, but I've been asking for formulas, so I can't talk shit. I'm not gonna talk shit. Present this as a table. I'm looking at this. This is about right, except for like this is not doing it the way I would do it, because it's starting at year 1, and I like to start from year 0, which is typically when like you either A, get something and you make a big payment, or B, you give something. Well, I don't know, maybe that's the same thing. It didn't produce the table the way I wanted it. Let's say pivot the table so time is on the X axis, or so that time is the columns. Oh man, I didn't spell that right. Okay, all right, yeah, this is getting better, but like it's still not what I would expect. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't accept that anyway. You once told, let me put this up. You once told me you recommend saving $60,000 a year until I'm 30 years old. What would you do with the $60K a year? You wouldn't just hold it in a savings account and let it sit there. Well, I mean, you could put it into. I'm not saying to do this. Don't do this. I'm not. You get advice from your financial advisor. I don't. For what it's worth, I don't have a financial advisor. I'm like, why the hell would I listen to someone who hasn't? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, don't take any advice from me. Like I'm not the person for that. You talk to your accountant or whoever the people are who are supposed to do that. But there are like things like the S&P 500, which I think that averages a rate of return of, what is it, like 11% a year? No, actually, let's see. What is the average return of the SP 500? 10%. Okay. All right. So let's say 10%. Now keep in mind that typically the risk-free rate is whatever the Fed is. So you should subtract that out. So, right. So like, let's say for instance, historically it's been like 3% or something like that. You would subtract that out and get back 7%, but let's just keep it at this 10%. Right. So let's say you have 60K a year is what you were saying. So year, whatever this is, I'm not going to build the actual discounted cash flow here. It's too much effort. But yeah, so let's say in year, whatever this is, so year 0. And then we'll go to year 5, I guess. Technically, you would be on a much longer horizon, like 30 to 40 to 50 years. All right, so every year you're going to put in 60K, I guess. And this is going to be, we're not going to discount this because it's going to be 60K in whatever dollars. Actually, we should discount it, but we're not. That's too much effort. All right, so you're going to put in $60,000, except we also have to like add in the previous thing. So like, let's say here, it's going to be equal to basically the sum of, it'll just be 60. We should do that. All right, so it'll be equal to 60. And then this is going to be equal to this plus that. And let's see if it'll continue this formula for me. Ah, shit, no, it won't. Fuck. This is going to be equal to, wait, what did I do for this one? E6. Okay, so I did left first. All right, so that's going to be left plus that equal left plus that, and then equals this is technically wrong, but we're just going to keep going with this for now. I probably should be using sum. That makes my life just a little bit easier. So that plus this. All right, so this is assuming that you just throw in 60K a year. So in 5 years you'll have $360,000. 6 times 5. Wait, hold on. Whoa. 6 times 5. Where the hell is this extra 60 coming from? Oh, okay. I'm tripping. Okay. I'm tripping. This is 60. Okay. Ignore me. All right. So what we want to do is we want to figure out, all right, well, we're going to make our interest. So let's make our interest. So we're going to say that this is going to be equal to that times this right here. So that's our interest. We got to add that in. That's why I was like, this is technically wrong. And I am probably going to regret this because now I got to do extra work. Fuck. Yeah. Oh, okay, whatever. Fuck it. I'll just do it. All right, we'll do that. Okay, and then we got to figure out, our interest again here. Except this time, and honestly, I did this wrong. This is 60. This should be 120. But we're just gonna have to go with it. It's fine. All right, so just bear with me. So this 60,000, we're gonna add it, but we're also gonna earn 10% on this right here. All right, so we're gonna say equal to this times that. So that's our 12. So we need to make sure that this includes that sum. That's why I was like, I'm technically doing this wrong, and I'm regretting doing it wrong now. But I'm already committed, so we're gonna keep doing this. If someone's like, man, like why is he doing? Yeah, I'm wondering that too. So we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna calculate this. So we're gonna get that, and then we gotta update this formula to not be trash. So we'll do of that, and that's gonna be equal to this right here times that. And we'll do sum of this. Yes, fucking correct it. You know what the fuck I want. All right, that times this, and then we will do the sum thing, and like so. All right, cool. I forgot what the number was. I think it was 360,000. So, you know, this is like $100,000 difference, right? So let's say you were able to, you know, do this just for 5 years, and you're adding $60,000 a year, and then you're also getting your interest compounded. You know, this will add up to a big number. Let's see if it'll continue. Let's see. Will it do it right? No, it won't. It won't do it right. Fine. All right. So yeah, if you do this for long enough, yeah, you're gonna make a lot of money. What would you do with the 6K? So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't just let it sit. I would put it at least in an interest bearing account. Even if you only do 6%, that's still decent. Let's put this at 6. All right, that's $418,000. Let's say you put it in like one of those high yield savings account where you're getting like 4.42 whatever percent. It's $400,000. All right, so you know, in year one, yeah, you may not make that much money. It's $2,500, but that's still free money that you've made. And yeah, does that answer your question? Maybe not. The answer to your second question is no. I would not just hold it in savings. The only thing that I hold in savings is emergency. So 6 months of all of my living expenses, like with the way I live. So like if let's say your budget is like 10K a month, you should have 60K in your, I would probably do 50K to be real, but have about 60K in your savings account. I tend to have about half a month to a month of expenses in my checking account. So it's about 5 to 10K. And then everything else gets deployed to other things, whether it be art or things that appreciate, or real estate or stocks or bonds or any asset. Like even honestly, you even invested in yourself. Go travel. That's what I like to do. But yeah, you can do that. But this isn't financial advice. Don't listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I'm broke. I'm poor. I only have $5,000 in my checking account. Remember, I'm broke. So this is not financial advice. Take this for what it's worth. But yeah, that's finance stuff. So I've covered all the things that people said to cover. Anything else? Like I said, I'm just streaming so that I'll hit my goal. I said I would do it 3 times this week. I'm feeling under the weather this week, and I was just like, if I don't do it today, then I'm not gonna hit the goal. So that's the only reason why I'm streaming. I don't really have much to talk about or much to do, other than my buddy wants to start buying properties. We're looking at buying some like 4plexes or maybe apartments here in the city. We'll talk about what? I gotta talk about something. Excuse me. Oh, I should create a marker and say I talked about stuff. Talk about finance stuff. I don't know. Man, I'm so happy that I can create these stream markers. Man, my gosh. What have you done as a software engineer that helped you advance in your career? Wait. Learned how to write. I mean, I'm not saying that I learned how to write after becoming. I used to write. I actually won some state writing competitions, like creative writing. Creative writing is very different from like the writing I do now, but just like knowing how to write, because most of the communication that I do as an engineer is in writing. But not just knowing how to write, but also learning how to communicate my ideas effectively to others and to be articulate, right? Because talking to engineers, especially engineers who know what the hell they're doing, it's a little bit of it could be a challenge. You know, words have meaning, and you know, sometimes they won't let you forget that words have meaning, and you need to make sure you use the right words to be thorough in your thought process. So basically, like writing shit down. The other thing I would say is learning how to present my ideas to others in a persuasive sense, right? So let's say, for instance, there's this problem, and it's like I have a solution. Well, I need to be able to propose that to the rest of the team or whatever and get buy-in. How do you do that? How do you negotiate? So negotiation tactics helped me a lot. What you'll learn is that most of the things that have helped me in my career are not the technical things. I know other people, they're really strong technically. I'm okay technically. I have prioritized all of the other things. People call them soft skills, which is interesting. So like focusing on soft skills, learning how to write an email that doesn't waste people's time. Learning how to write memos so that people can stay abreast to what's happening and like what's going on. Learning how to write engineering as well as product specifications so that we know not only what to build but how to build it, and like we've kind of thought about certain things. Oh wait, I see a second question. Oh, and by the way, I ordered the food. Oh bro, you ordered an X100V? Did you get it for sticker, or did you get it for less? I don't know if it's worth it to pay more than what it's worth. I bought mine for the price that it was, like the price, brand new. Back when it came out, I would never pay extra for anything. Like, I'm that person. I won't do it on principle. I don't care if I have the money. It's not even about money at that point. That's the reason why I'm not riding around in another GT3 right now, because they're asking above sticker. And same with the G-Wagon. Like I was gonna get another G-Wagon, the G63, the one that I had, basically the new one. And they're like, it's either $50,000 over to get it today, or a 3-year wait. I'm like, I'll wait 3 years. Fuck that. I'm not paying over sticker for shit. That's how I'm not doing it for nothing. Let's see. The reason I asked the SWE question is because I find myself struggling to reach out to the right people internally to get answers and not speaking up. I know my communication is a big thing I need to work on. I mean, if you know you need to work on it, then work on it, right? It's the only way to work on it is to do it. It could be a challenge. Actually, talk to Yanni if he's still here. No, Yanni, I used to get on him a little bit. How do you feel about communication now, Yanni? Are you still here? If you're not, then never mind. But yeah, it's all the other things like communication. I learned that's way more important than anything, because if you can't communicate with the people on your team, it doesn't matter how strong technically you are. There's a limit to what one man can do. Real talk. I don't care how smart you are. Like, if you're just one person, you're not going to get shit accomplished. And I mean that in a literal sense. Like, a very literal sense. Well, elaborate, Yanni. Like, let's see. Nah, I got it for less than brand new. Okay, all right. Well, perfect. Okay, yeah. $13.99. Man, that's still a lot of money. $12.99 for a 3-year-old camera, 3.5-year-old camera now. But I guess at least you got it, which is good. Yeah. I guess actually, no. Now that I think about it, we've had a lot of inflation. So if you're able to get it for that price, then technically you're coming out ahead, I guess. Are you into photography? Is that something that you like? Close this. We don't need that anymore. Get rid of XL. All right. Yeah. So we went over some formulas, I guess. I pre-ordered the Leica Q3, but they couldn't give me a window of like when it would come at all, so I ended up canceling it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're going for over. I don't know who's paying for it, but I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm allergic to paying over for anything. Oh, you have the A7 IV. Oh, okay, I have that too. Also, I had the A7 R5, but the one that was shipped to me had a busted EVF. And I just haven't reordered it yet, because I'm just like, well, Yeah, I'll get it at some point. Maybe I'll get it while I'm in Japan. Maybe, I don't know. Get that tax-free rate, and maybe take advantage of exchange rates. But yeah. Like I have a few lenses too. I'm primarily a Sony shooter. I've been shooting Sony for a long time. My first camera actually was the Canon something powered. It was like a power shot. Let's see, Canon Power Shot 2006. It was like really thin. Let's see, orange. Maybe it was Cool Pix. Maybe that was this thing right here. Yeah, this was my first camera, except mine I think was a little bit thinner. I think this could be it. I should just buy one again just because. I'm trying to make sure that this is it. Yeah. This was my first camera. And I used it for video actually. All my YouTube videos back in the day were recorded on this little thing. What's crazy is that the screen is the same size screen as today's cameras. Can you believe that? I remember thinking, I was like, oh man, in the future, like we'll have bigger screens, and it's like now we just have these shitty ass Sony screens. But yeah, this was my first camera, and I had that for a while actually, for a long time, until I eventually got my first real camera, the Samsung NX300, which to this day, the NX300, the NX500, and the NX1, those were my favorite cameras of all time. Let's see, NX300. Wait, why did I say S? I meant X. Hell, maybe I'll buy this if it's cheap as fuck. It's still expensive. I may still buy it because like I kind of miss having this camera. I liked it a lot. It is to date the best camera I've used from like a usability. Like the touchscreen is amazing. The screen is huge. It's just nice to use, and the imaging is also really good. But Samsung exited the market for some reason. I don't know why. But I don't know if I would have to buy lenses, and they don't make lenses anymore, so that would be hard. The second one that I bought was the NX500. So this one, and this is actually the color I had it in. I had the brown one, and it's just an upgrade to the NX300. And I had this lens actually, the 16-50. It's crazy. Let's see, where do I get access to wait, hold on. Okay, I've had a Nikon D90, D8000. Oh, so you're Nikon, okay, Canon EOS. And okay, so yeah, I've never owned a Nikon. I have had a Canon, but you saw the one that I had. And then I went to Samsung. I had the NX500, and then the last one that I had was the NX1. Before they discontinued their NX line. This is by far, I mean, other than the size, I didn't like the size, but like this is by far the best camera, like ever. Like seriously, it's the best camera ever. Even though it's only APS-C, I don't care. Like if Samsung were to start saying, if they were to start doing cameras again, I would probably ditch Sony. Like you see this right here, this was doing 4K DCI, and like, oh gosh, when was this? Like 2015? Yeah, 2015. 4K DCI in 2015. Even like the Sony A7S III that I have today doesn't do DCI. You have to go and get the what is it? The FX3. I think the FX3 finally does DCI 4K. And this had H.265 back in the day, and I hated it back then because nothing had nothing could deal with H.265. It was brand new. There was no encoding for it, so it was very slow. You had to essentially convert it. So I used Handbrake to convert it into H.264. And honestly, I just ended up not doing a lot of stuff with the footage because of that reason. Had Wi-Fi 802.11 AC. Like, this is in 2015. Even Sony's today, I don't even know if they have that. But yeah, let's see what else. Through those brands I've been through, the Sony has by far the best in my experience. So I've stuck with Sony, not because I love it, but it's just like I have a lot of lenses for it, and I'm just like, it's good enough. To be honest, I don't really like shooting with Sony. It's not fun, which is why I have my Fujis. I shoot on my Fuji for fun. Like the Sonys are technically good, but like the ergonomics are trash, the menus are trash. The fact that they don't support their cameras with firmware is trash. Yeah, like it's a lot of things that I don't like about Sony, to be real. Let's see. If you want to be better at it, you have to work on it by writing. Oh, okay. What also helped me was access to Will's writings and not try to emulate the way he communicates. Let's see. Since his writings are good, I can compare my writings to his and see where. Okay. Writings. Oh, you're on an iPad? Yeah. Bro, you got to get that iPad keyboard for $300. Freaking Apple charging goddamn $300 for a piece of shit. Like, well, I guess it has a trackpad, but still, it's a lot of money. His streams, we were working on them. Oh yeah, I remember Nelsie. We were doing Nelsie. GitHub. Oh yeah. I don't know if Nelsie is public like that, or is it? Maybe it is public. Well, I don't own it anymore. That's under One Signal these days. A lot of my writing, I guess, is mostly in private. I do have writing that's public. Where, I don't know, like they're somewhere. Here, you can go to this. I mean, this isn't the kind of writing that you probably want to see, but it's writing nonetheless. Author. Oh, that's not how I spell my name. Okay. Wait, I have open issues? I'm not about to do that. No. Let's see what this is. Does this have words? I don't know. You can find words here. Like, just go read some of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't know. I mean, there's that. I think I have blog posts somewhere. I don't know where, man. I don't keep up. Most of my writing is now in like, oh no, I write our docs. That's a lot. I've been writing docs, but a lot of it is in my writing. I'm updating, I'm refining the docs. So you wouldn't just know it's me. Or maybe you would. Maybe you'll be able to sense a change of voice in some of the docs. Because I'm a big believer. Well, I shouldn't say believer, but it's my understanding that everyone has a voice in writing, and if you read enough and you write enough, you'll start to, well, first, if you read enough, you'll start to recognize, a writer's voice. And if you write a lot, you will develop your own voice. So I have like a very specific way of writing. And it's to the point to where I can figure out, let's say for instance, I'm reading a document and let's say it has like 8-9 different authors. I will know what I have written just based off of reading it, because like I know what my voice is. So you can go look at that, I guess. Of course, I don't know what's mine and what's not. I think I have a blog post or two, maybe 3. I don't know. Some of the other things that I have, I don't know if they were published. Like some of the stuff that I used to do when I was younger, like the writing competitions that I did. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you. But if you want to be better at writing, read. I think that's the best way to learn how to write, is to read. And I've read a lot. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. Some people, they like to watch videos and all that kind of stuff. I've never been a video person. I'm more of I will go read a book. That's what I find enjoyable. If I had to choose between watching a movie or reading a book, I would go read a book. If I had to choose between playing a video game and reading a book, I'm gonna go read a book. Yeah, books are probably gonna win out the most. And I've read a lot of books. Countless at this point. I don't even know. It's like countless books. It may be in the four figures, approaching five figures amount of books. Everything from short stories to like long novels, different across different genres, of course. I think is it Tolstoy? Gosh, who is his name? I think it's Tolstoy. He's a Russian person. It's hard for me. Tolstoy. Yeah, oh yeah, here we are. This guy. Which one did I read? I'm trying to think about. I think I've read a few of his. War and Peace. There's also I don't know why I can't remember shit. I had a book list at one point that I was gonna try to put there. I never finished that. Gosh, who is the person? He wrote a book about a person who planned the perfect murder, and like he ended up murdering this person, and he got away with it, but like his conscience basically ate at him to the point where like he went crazy or something like that. Fuck, what's the name of the book? I don't know the name of the book. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's one of the books that I remember. Very like, it left an impression. It was hard though. It was a hard read. Also, like there's a few books by James Joyce that I read. Oh gosh, I don't know it. I'm a person that like I recall information when I see it these days. Is it James Joyce? He wrote a book. Yeah, I've read Ulysses, but I don't think that was it. Or maybe wait, is Ulysses it? I think it was like autobiography or whatever the fuck that word is. Is it Ulysses? It sounds familiar, but I don't know if this is it. Let me look at the synopsis. This isn't the one I'm thinking of. Maybe it is Ulysses. It feels like it is Ulysses. I don't remember. Oh, you're Russian. Ah, okay. Bet you wasn't expecting another person to have read some Russian stuff. So, like, real talk, I wouldn't have read it if I took a course in college called Russian literature, and like we had to read I think every week or two. Like for the most part, it was every week we had to read a new book. And oh my gosh, that class was hard. Like that shit was hard, bro. Oh my gosh, getting through some of that was tough because I don't know, like it's just different, right? Guys, who is the person? There's the author, Toni Morrison. Her books are like, I like her as well, and I mean some of her books are tough. So the ones that I've read are Beloved, The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, and I think she has some other ones, but like some of these books are tough too. Like really tough. For what it's worth, Beloved, a movie was made based off of Beloved, this book here. So I also grew up reading a lot of Black people, because I don't know if you could tell, like we have our own culture and history. I prefer it. So I read a lot of, my people's type of stuff growing up, and that's hard too. But I think it may be for some of the same reasons. I believe that the Slavs, I think that's the Russians, right? Slavs, Slavic nation people. A lot of them went through some very tough times as well. Like you may have to correct me on here, but I think that the Slavs were slaves too at some point. Just like at one point, I think the Irish were slaves, or at least indentured servants or whatever. And it seems like, the people who go through these hard times, especially in Russia, like it seems like, goddamn, like at what point in history has Russia not been in like a precarious situation? There's been a lot of stuff that's going on there. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, like this is This is a good one. Also, if you really just like want to read a freaking just awesome book, read the autobiography of Frederick Douglass. Autobiography of Frederick Douglass. So he was a slave who became free, and he learned how to read and write. And I mean, by the time he died, he was the most famous maybe person on earth. He was definitely the most famous black person on earth. He ended up traveling the world and speaking and doing all kinds of things. And like, yeah, like honestly, like when I grew up learning about I grew up learning about people like him. So like my heroes are people who are like me, and I modeled a lot of my my life around these types of people. Frederick Douglass. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of people like Martin Luther King and all that, Malcolm X. Like these are big people to me as well. But there are also some other folks like Frederick Douglass, who if you read some of the stuff, actually here, let's see, Frederick Douglass on 4th of July. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but like I don't look at America the way that most people do. Like, the whole independence thing. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck. But anyway, he says something. Let's see. Oh, man, I don't know if we want to read this whole thing. Oh wait. I'm looking for the quote that will, without the whole thing, because it was a long speech. But it basically said, like, what is the 4th of July to a slave or something like that. Let's see if I can find that slave. Oh, here we are. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? Notice he says the word your 4th of July. I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all the other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty, which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty, an unholy license, your national greatness, swelling vanity. Anyway, all this to say, he said this during slavery times to a group of white people, like in America. And like from all accounts of the folks who were there, they were like people were shocked. And it's just like, and honestly, I don't know, I might be getting to a point where it's just like, just get back to just saying what's on my mind, right? Especially when you get to like here, like let's say here, swelling vanity, your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciations of tyrants, brass front and impudence, your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers, man, he went the fuck in. Oh my gosh. But yeah, stuff like this, I love it. Let's see, Fyodor Dostoevsky, I can't pronounce that. It's another Russian artist. Slavs, aka Slavic, are Russian, Ukrainian, Romanian, Moldovan, Polish, and probably more than I'm missing. Yeah. I know the region of Slavic. So I'll pull up on a map. Here, you're about to learn that an American person actually knows shit about geography. I know most of us don't, but some of us do. All right, where are the Ural Mountains? I think Russia is like the Ural Mountains, right? Like basically all of this region, like all through up here. Well, not Turkey, but like this, and I think out into the Baltics, right? I think all of this is like where the Slavs were, I believe. Yeah, Ural Mountains. Yeah, I was right. Look, Ural Mountains. I think the Caucasus are down here somewhere in Central Asia. I don't remember where it is. Where are the Caucasus? I thought Caucasus. I can't even talk. I thought the Caucasus were in this region, or maybe it's a little bit south. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't know geography as much as I thought. I thought the Caucasus Mountains were in this region, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I really think I'm right here. It should be in this region somewhere. I mean, for someone who's been in 50 countries, I hope you. Well, I mean, just because you've been to countries don't really mean much. A lot of people, when they say they go to a country, they fly from where they are from and they go to a city. They go to their hotel. They rarely leave the area of their hotel. So let's say, for instance, you go to wherever this is. Like, let's say your hotel is right here. Well, not Burger King, obviously, but like, let's just say that Burger King is a hotel. Most people will never ever leave past this little small area right here. So I get what you're saying, but like, you shouldn't assume that just because someone goes to a country means that they are paying attention and cognizant to the things that are around them. Especially when you go to like, mostly, most people just go to a city and they're like, oh, I've been to this country. I don't count it unless I've gone to at least 3 cities in the country. And I prefer to like drive around and see the country. I have not been to Russia at all. In fact, all of this region, like anything, and I mean, maybe it's because I'm American. Like anything like out to the east. Honestly, I haven't been east of Germany, actually, now that I think about it. I've only this is like I think the farthest east I've been is like this right here. It's the farthest east that I've been in Europe. In general, I'm not a fan of Europe. Like, I have zero interest in Europe, none whatsoever. And I don't know, maybe you can deduce some of the reasons why. It's like I don't want to go there. So most of the, like, when I have gone east, farther east, I'm in like, Africa or West Asia. I want to go to Central Asia. Like, I do want to go to Uzbekistan, which I know that was former USSR, but I want to go there. I also want to go to Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. No interest in going to Turkmenistan. But I actually kind of want to go to Iran, like to Tehran. It would be dope to go to Baku. I think that's Armenia, maybe. I don't know how they feel, but I think I want to go to Baku. I want to go to Bhutan, which I want to say is up here somewhere. Where is Bhutan? Wait, I thought Bhutan. Oh shit! Why is it? What the hell? Yeah, here is Bhutan. Yeah, I want to go to Bhutan, and at one point I wanted to go to Myanmar, mainly because of movies and Top Gear. But I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I want to go right now. At one point I wanted to go to China, but I won't go. I've been all throughout here and all that kind of stuff. I do want to go to Indonesia. I haven't been to Indonesia, and haven't been to Australia, but like, yeah, I have very little interest. To me, Australia and Europe and Canada, they're all the same to me. If I want to see them, I can stay here. That's how I feel. My favorite country, well, I go to Singapore almost every year. So I like this region here. I like the food, right? So like, I'm gonna probably go to Thailand again because I like the food. I loved Oman. In fact, I lived in Oman for a while here in Muscat, right here. In fact, I can probably find where I was staying. Let's see. No, I wasn't staying here. I think I was staying a little bit farther north. Actually, we could look for it. Moose. Yeah, I was staying here. Let's see if we can look around. See my old stomping grounds where I would, go get my whatever, the food. I don't know if I don't think we're gonna be able to see it here. Yeah, nah. I guess they don't have it. It's very let's see. Maybe Google Maps has it. I doubt it though. Let's see. Almost. Come on. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, all right. Yeah. So it's a little bit more well-to-do. But yeah, I stay here. Yeah, it's fucking dope for months. I worked with a team out there. another team of mine. Yeah, got some friends out there. In fact, I need to go back very soon. I was meant to go back, but the country shut down, so I got stuck here, and I was just like, well, I guess I'll just come back to where I was living, and I haven't left since. Oh, you've been to Kazakhstan? Oh, that's dope. When you were 7, I remember very little. My parents are from there. Oh, wait, you're Kazakh? You're a Kazakh? Interesting. I've never met someone who's from there. I just want to go because it looked beautiful. I like photography. I like going to places that most people have never been or never really heard of or wouldn't think to go to. And when I was in Oman, I was just exploring the region because I was like, I want to go to some other places as well. And Kazakhstan was one of them. I also want to go to Georgia. And the reason why is because I had some chicken, and when I was in Berlin, it just changed my life. And I was like, man, where is this from? And they were like, Georgia, because it was a Georgian restaurant. I'm like, I had to go to Georgia. A lot of times I'll go to places based off of recommendations. So if someone's like, oh, you need to go here, I'll go there. So when I was in Dubai, I met this Indonesian girl, and she was like, you should go to Indonesia. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna go to Indonesia one day. So that's the reason why I need to go to Indonesia. I was told that I should go to Rwanda. I went to Rwanda. But yeah, I want to go to Kazakhstan. I also want to go to Armenia. My mentor he's not technically from Armenia, but his parents are Armenia and Mexico. So it's like I want to go just because of him. And obviously I want to go to Azerbaijan because I did just say Baku. And I do know that they got a little beef, a spat going on, but I still kind of want to go. Oh, you're Russian. Ah, okay. But my parents lived in a village called Samay Palit. I can't pronounce that. Which was former USSR, and now the city is Semi Kazakhstan. Ah, okay. I see. That's cool. Wow, that's actually really. What are the odds that I'll meet somebody while streaming whose parents or family is from the place that I really want to go to? That's cool. How do they feel about what's going on right now with because there's a lot of I don't know if you know much about the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, but I want to say that China and Kazakhstan, they're doing a lot of stuff like Urumqi here. I think that there's this corridor that they're building in Kazakhstan. They're doing a lot of stuff together, and I'm pretty sure Kyrgyzstan is the same. Maybe what country is it? What is this? Actually, I only know one of these characters. I only know that character. I know some of these. Never mind. Some of these I do know. I don't know any of the. I don't know the other characters. Something John something. Huh. Interesting. That's cool. So yeah, I want to go here, but parts of it, I don't know if I would. Specifically this region. So some of this is a little bit too close for comfort for me. So I don't know if I would go. I would like to go to Pakistan too, but when I say I want to go, it's like I want to go to India. I'll go there one day in the long future, or maybe I should go while I'm young, while I have the energy. I don't know. You only keep in family. Oh wait. Yeah, George and Uzbek. Yeah, the food. Yeah, that's what brings me to a lot of places is food. If the food is trash, I'm not trying to go. And I feel that most of the food from this region of Earth is trash, which is why they likely went into other places, to better places that had better food, like India or Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore, and Philippines, as well as this part of China and Japan and South Korea, as well as down here in the South Americas. I like chilies and spices, and I don't think they like chilies and spices up here. Yeah, I heard that a lot of folks were also going to Uzbekistan due to the war as well. And I don't know, man, it's a weird situation because, well, I guess I know China's out there right now trying to fill the vacuum, the void that Russia has left, because now they're occupied with Ukraine. And they had a lot of influence with these nations because they're former USSR, and I'm pretty sure they don't want anything to do with that. So I guess they're picking China over that. So China just did some economic summit there recently, shortly after Russia went into war with Ukraine. And I do know that there are a lot of Russians, specifically men, who basically fled through the southern border in the Kazakhstan. And the ones who I know of who are in Uzbekistan, I imagine they went there because of connections that they had in the past, or maybe because it's a whole country, south, so you get a little buffer. So if anything were to go south, it's like, yeah, you got to get through Kazakhstan first, buddy, before you get over here. Your wife is Ukrainian. Well, it's my understanding that, like, no, they're all Slavs, which, I don't know, man, like, I'm gonna be real, like, I don't really understand the whole conflict. I mean, I understand, the history between Russia, or technically USSR, and I guess the United States. And I do understand that, like, like all of these countries here, like Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus. Well, Belarus is still, very much aligned with Russia, but I think Poland and I don't know, was Czechoslovakia also part of that, or was it just Slovakia? I know that these were different countries and they kind of got split up. Like, I don't know if the Czech Republic still exists. Serbia, like all these countries, I know that they were part of USSR, just like all of these countries down here were part of USSR, as well as hell, like. Yeah, I think even Mongolia at one point. I think the Japanese, at some point, I think the USSR wanted to make sure that Mongolia was its own separate thing. I think it has something to do with Japan. I don't remember, to be real. But like, I know that it was a very, very, very vast empire. In fact, Russia's still freaking big as fuck on its own. But yeah, like, there's a lot of interesting things going on right now, especially with Japan, because they claim a lot of the same places out in the Far East. And yeah. Nah, bro, we seem all Slavs, especially Russians, Ukrainians, brothers and sisters. Because if you know Russian, you can pick up Ukrainian so fast, and vice versa. Yeah, I mean, that's my my foreigner perspective of, like, I don't, like, all I know is that a lot of people think Europe is peaceful, but from my understanding of the history that I know, the only point that most of Europe's history, also, I mean, all of its history, most of it has just been like warfare, constant, like plagues, famines, wars, and all that kind of shit. And it seemed like after World War II, there's been like a very, very long peace, more peaceful than it's ever been. Maybe ever since, like, I would say after the end of World War II. But yeah, I wonder how much of that is just due to the fact that this country over here exists. And we have a very, very large navy. we have a very large, a lot of things. I wonder how much of this peace is because of, a big ass gun that we have. There are those who are hardcore nationalists who hate Russians, and those who hate Ukrainians. Yeah, like, I don't understand that. I mean, I understand, like, at one point in time, the country or certain people within the country may have done some bullshit. I get that. I understand that. I just don't understand, like, why does it? Well, I guess because it's some of it is recent, but even then, it's just like, sure, you should hate the people who did the thing, but sometimes the people who did the thing aren't here anymore. So it's like, why are you hating? Now, I do understand that, Russia may be doing some things, as well as Ukraine may be doing some things. Like, I've seen some shit come out of Ukraine, bro. Like, I don't know what it's called, but like, I saw someone or a group of people in Ukraine take a man, he may have been Russian, I don't know, nail him to the cross, like literally, like nailed him to a cross, lifted him up, and he's like screaming all this shit, and then set the man on fire like after about 5 minutes. And basically, like, he ended up dying, of course, but like, I have seen shit like that. I've seen a lot of shit like that, actually, as well as, like, some of the shit that happened out here in Syria. Like Syria, as well as in Iraq. Like, I've seen some shit, bro. Like, it's crazy. What's my favorite food? Uh, the region where I'm from, this area, Cajun, Creole, Southern food. Some people call it soul food. I just call it food. After that, I don't know. I like a lot of things. Like I like certain regions of Chinese food. Like specifically, I like Sichuan food. Where's the Sichuan? I think it's landlocked. Where the hell is Sichuan? Sichuan. Well, whatever that is. I don't know where the province is. I can't find it right now. But I like that food. I do like certain Vietnamese food. I like Lao, Thailand food. Like, you know, a lot of Thailand was Laos at one point. I do like Malaysian food, which I mean, obviously I like Singaporean food because a lot of that is Malaysian. I'm starting to come around to some Japanese food. I don't like sushi at all. I hate it. I do like South Korean food. I didn't know it until like I went to South Korea just randomly. I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of dope. I like a lot of the food in the Pakistani food that I've had. I loved it. Specifically in this region up here, like I like Nepalese food. Basically the region around the Himalayas. I like that food a lot. I enjoy some of the Iranian food that I had when I was in the Middle East. I don't like Lebanese food. I had to put that out there. I don't like I don't like their food. Like I like the people, but I don't like the food. You can miss me with that. I do like Omani and Qatari food as well. In Africa, I think my favorite cuisine in Africa might be Egypt, maybe, probably, most likely. The one I hate the most is in Kenya. Oh my gosh, trash. Yeah, trash. I don't get it. Trash. The only food that's okay is in Mombasa, Kenya. If I had to just pick one, it would probably be Peruvian. I love Peruvian food because it's like a mix. It's a Creole food. Like it's a mix of different cultures, kind of like where I'm from. Like I'm a mix of different cultures, so like I like that. I also like Cuban food a lot. Well, Miami Cuban food. I don't know if I like actual Cuban food, but the Miami Cuban food, I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of things. All right, bro, Yanni, I'll see you later. You're behind on the stream, and you mentioned a bunch of books. Have you read anything from James Cone? I don't think I have. No, I have not. I'm looking at it. I don't. None of these look familiar to me. Oh, well, speaking of, like, I love Cornel West. I know who he is. Love this guy. Man, yeah, we have some freaking dope people. Who else is dope? He kind of reminds me, like, I don't know what happened, but like there was one point where, I mean, we still lead a lot in culture. Like a lot of our culture is exported around the world, and a lot of people don't realize that it's actually our culture because, you know, it gets, you know, like what they do. But yeah, like we had like a renaissance, man. Like, man, I don't know what happened. Like, real talk, I really don't know what happened. Like, we used to have like for real leaders who you could look up to, and like nowadays you have people like, who is that guy that people like, Dr. Umar Johnson. Like, now we have people like him. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's fucking embarrassment. Like, when, you know, we had like people like him, or what's his name, Malcolm X, or gosh, I forget. I don't remember names. I'm sorry. I'm getting old. I don't remember shit anymore. I don't think you were here when I said that I'm very much a person where I remember things based off of when I see it. Like, my recall is bad just off the cuff. I definitely know who he is. W.B. Du Bois. He's another. Oh yeah, I know who James Baldwin is. Toni Morrison. We were talking about some of her books. The Cross and the Lynching Tree. Why? I'm curious. Like, I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just like, why? Oh, this is a new book. there's a site that I like to go to. Goodreads. Oh, you know what would be interesting? Because I know that ChatGPT basically stole everybody's work. Let's tell ChatGPT to give me a summary. Give me a summary of that. Look at that. Oh man, lawyers are gonna have a field day with IP. Like, interesting. Draws parallels between the crucifixion of Jesus and the lynching of black people in the United States. I've noticed that a lot of black people like to relate to that. It's interesting, right? It's interesting to me. He argues that both the cross and the lynching tree are symbols of terror. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know if I buy that. My reason is that a lynching tree is just a tree. And to be real, I don't get terror from trees. Even when I'm in where my family's from, there's a lot of trees. We have oak trees here. And I don't know if I argue, anyway. Symbols of terror, instruments of torture and execution represent the suffering. I feel like that's just obvious, but okay. Emphasizes the importance of understanding the cross in the light of African American experience, suggesting that suffering of black people through lynching is a reflection of Christ's own suffering on the cross. He critiques the white Christian community for turning a blind eye to racial injustices and lynchings, while also, the faith of black community in the face of such adversity. It's interesting, maybe. I don't know. Like, I struggle. Like, I know, how do I say it? I grew up in the South, right? Like, I am from this, I'm Southern. And I'm also from the place where all of a sudden, like after George Floyd died or whatever, all of a sudden everybody knows what the fuck Juneteenth is, which is a holiday that like we've been celebrating down here in Houston and basically in Texas for my entire life, ever since the real end of slavery. And I mean, I don't know. I find that a lot of folks, especially, black folks, they tend to, I don't know, they seem to be stuck on that kind of shit. Where it's like, yeah, it happened a long time ago. No, we're not the only ones who went through stuff. Sure, we're in a country where like we built a lot of infrastructure and all that kind of stuff, and oppression and all that kind of stuff. But this is also like the only country that I know of, other than Britain, that basically got rid of it on their own without a revolution, right? And you got to think about like, how did that happen? It wasn't because slaves wanted it. It's because of the people who, like a lot of black people tend to not like. It's like it was their ancestors who wanted the end of that shit, specifically in the North. But there are also some folks in the South who wanted it too, I suppose. But like it's everywhere, right? Like, I mean, even slavery exists to this day. Like, and I mean it. I'm not saying like it's just someone, oh, this is just what I'm saying. I mean, like, as in like I've been to a lot of places. Slavery still exists, bro. I'll show you some regions where you can find some slaves. I'm not saying you should go there. I'm not even going to be very specific because, let's just say it's in this region of Earth. You can find slaves. Also, I'll zoom in just a little bit more. In this region of Earth, you can find slaves, like legitimate slaves, right? Also, in this region, well, it's another region, but like in this region, it's still around. And we're in a country where like, we fought I mean, it wasn't just over. I mean, a big part of it was slavery, even though they don't want to admit it. There was a big ass war fought where millions of people died over something like that, right? I mean, it wasn't just slavery. It had a lot to do with state rights and the fact that there was trade, lots of money on the line with Europe for cotton and tobacco and all that kind of shit. But it's like, when you think about it, that cotton and tobacco, that wasn't growing or picking itself. So like it was economic question, and it was an issue of states and all that kind of stuff, but it was also like the means of labor. And when you look at other countries where they have fallouts over means of labor, like this region that we were talking about, Russia, like it didn't work out that well. Like millions of people, tens of millions of people died, right? And it's not just here. Like there's also this region of Earth here where about 70 million people died over issues of labor. And it's not lost on me because like I also went to this part of the earth, like the Ghanaian Empire. Let's be real, the Ghanaian Empire had a lot to do with shipping, folks like me to Africa for weapons. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a long way of saying it's like, yeah, I know that there's a lot of stuff, but I'm more interested in things that are gonna like not necessarily rehash stuff, or like you can draw parallels, obviously, like when the Israelites, which I believe are Africans, were getting away from Egypt, and they were crossing this little area of the Red Sea, over to here. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels. They were slaves. I mean, there's also Jesus, of course, but like he wasn't a slave, right? And yeah, anyway, we got another question. It's tough to explain. No, you don't have to explain, bro. Like I looked at the I used ChatGPT. I'm not saying that is right, but I decided to use it for a novel thing. Like I never thought to use it for tell me about a book. So I was mostly just doing it just to see like what would happen. But I'm actually kind of impressed that it did that. Let's see. Give me a summary of chapter 1. Let's see if we can do that. All right. So we got a question about cars. What's your strategy to buying cars? Like your definition of being able to afford a car, paying it off in full, or 10% of your income. I don't have a strategy for buying cars. When I was buying cars, it was based on stupidity. So that was my strategy, just being stupid. I spent over $850,000 on cars. Just real talk. Stupid. Just being real. Like it's dumb. You don't get anything from it. I mean, fortunately, some of the more expensive cars, I didn't really lose money. I actually made money. But looking back, it was dumb, right? Like I didn't get anything from it. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about like, I didn't get anything for it. Like it didn't really bring me much. Like I thought it did initially, but it wears off really quick. And then, the more and more cars I got, the less and less it mattered. So now I'm at a point where it's like my strategy for buying cars is to A, not buy cars, and B, I lease a Tesla. And yeah, that's my strategy, is to fuck a car. But yes, I have paid for cars in cash. I bought my 911 GTS cash. My Macan Turbo, I didn't pay cash, but I traded in my AMG C63S Coupe and put $40,000 down, which I want to say it was like a 40% down payment. With the Panamera, I think I put like $35,000 down, and let's see what that is on a Panamera. So that was 147 before tax. That's the before tax. I think I said I put 35,000 down, so it's 23%. So I mean, I'm not recommending you do this, but like if you are going to buy a car, like 10% of your net worth is what you do, not of your income, of your net worth. So let's say that your net worth is $100,000. Me, William, at 34 will tell you that you can only afford a $10,000 car. Real talk. It's not based on your income, because your income changes. Your income can be, it can go up in 1 year, it can go down to 0 1 year. Like it changes. So no, it shouldn't be based on your income. It should be based on your net worth. Yeah, that's just being real. Now, if you are going to finance a car, even if it's based on your net worth, well, you should put down a minimum of 15%, and also don't finance taxes, don't finance title fees, or any of that other shit. So it's just like you basically you take that out and you pay that cash, and then like you put 15% at a minimum. But as I've kind of just alluded to, I put down a little bit more than that. Except for, except for my G-Wagon, I think my G-Wagon, I only put $30,000 down. And let's see. and that was out the door 12.5. But I think after like the taxes or whatever, I think I only paid, like it was only 190. Yeah, it's about 15-16% on the G-Wagon. But I paid the taxes up front. I paid the tax title or the title and all the fees and all that shit up front, including, you know, the insurance. You know, I get gap insurance. I also get like the wheel tire package insurance and the windshield insurance to, if anything happens, you know, I just take it there and they just fix it. How is net worth calculated? It is the amount of money you have in the amount of money asset, let's just say the amount of assets you have minus all your liabilities. It's that simple. I spent more than 800K. I spent over like, but yes. Yeah. Like let's just say I'm okay. Like I'm doing all right. I'm all right. Although like, I mean, real talk, if I would have listened to, you know, some of the other folks, like my mentors, you know, yeah, instead of my net worth being what it is now, I would be getting very close to $40 million. You know, so yeah, I threw that away to have cars. So now my net worth is not in the tens of millions. I mean, yeah, I'll get back on track. It's fine. But yes, it's yeah, I would not recommend going to buy cars. It's dumb. And I mean, sure, if you do get to a point where you want to buy cars, like, no, you should be doing a little bit better. Like, I mean, I'm doing okay, right? When I say a little bit better, I mean like you should have 8 9-figure net worth, kind of better. Not, oh, I make 100, which is honestly not a lot of money. Like a lot of people, they get in their minds, it's like, oh, let's go make 6 figures, and 6 figures is $100,000 to them. I'm like, that's nothing. Like 6 figures goes all the way up to $999,000, $999 a year. But most people get in their head that, oh, I make 120,000. They think that's a lot, and I'm just like, it's not really a lot, buddy. But this is coming from someone like, you know, like how fucking interest payments, I make more than that in general. So yeah, mostly everyone is meeting in person, and just like, yeah. And honestly, I didn't find my mentors. A lot of people, they have it in their head that they're going to go and find a mentor. I don't think it works that way. Your mentor finds you, right? So the folks who I have like, you know, who, you know, around me now, they basically, I found them really. Like, they didn't come looking for me. They happened to be in places where I was at, and, you know, just through talking and conversation, like over time, I took an interest in whatever they were doing. And yeah. So I mean, I don't really officially mentor people anymore. I have like my I call them former mentees. I'm still very much around, right? Like, it's not like we don't, but like, I got them to a goal, and they're good. And I think the last one, I think she crossed, you know, into 6-figure territory. And I'm not saying she makes a lot, but it's like she's in the 6-figure range, you know, starting 100,000, a little bit more. I think she got there at 26, 27, hope, maybe. I don't know. I always forget how old she is. Hopefully she don't see this. It should be like, how the hell? I always tell them, like, I don't remember. But yeah, like after they all reached the goal, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to do anything else. You know, I'm here. I mean, I still talk to them in general. So it's like, I don't need to do anything different. It's just that now I don't have to play as active of a role in, you know, making sure that they're, you know, what they need to do, and just being there in general. And yeah, a lot of the people who've been in my life, like, I've had no control over it. Like, you know, some of the folks were because of my grandpa, right? Some of the folks are because I happened to go to a pool party and I needed a place to sit down, and they ended up just talking to people. But I found this, that when I talk to a lot of people, they tend to take an interest in me and tend to want to help me, which is, I've been fortunate in that regard, where people want to help someone like me. And what's interesting, I've never asked for help. That's the other thing. Like, I guess they just, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll have to ask some of the folks, like, why do they even talk to me? Because like a lot of them are older. I mean, like 70s, Like why you talk to me? And it's not like we're the same, at least not on face. Like, you know, like if you just look at me, like I don't look like any of my mentors, if you catch my drift. We come from very, very different backgrounds, and even now, like, you know, like they're in a very different place in life than I am. Like, I feel poor in relation to most of my mentor. Like, and I say poor, I mean like for real poor. You know, like you go and you see some hanging on a wall that costs more than your life. It's just like, oh, okay, all right, levels. Or it's like, oh, you bought these supercars here, and let me go show you this car. Oh, by the way, it's $36 million. Shit like that. Did you get paid mentorships? Wait, did you do, what's a paid mentorship? What do you mean? What's a paid mentorship? Can you even pay to be like, that's weird. Wait, who? Like, am I paying? Or to me, no, that's weird. I don't know. Like, this might be a hot take, but like anybody who is charging you money to mentor, that's not a mentor, bro. It's not a mentor. If anything, that's more of a coach. But even then, like my coaches back when I used to do sports, like we weren't paying them. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I would never pay someone. No, hell no. Hell no. Like, I wouldn't even let them pay for, like, if we met up for lunch or dinner, like, I wouldn't even let them pay for that. What the hell? No. No. I would never, like, no. Hell no. And hopefully, like, yeah, hopefully I rub off on the people who I'm around and spend a lot of time. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't pay for that either. Like, I would have strong words if they ever came to me and was like, hey, like, what do you think of me paying someone to, it's like, no, fuck that. It's like, we're going to have some fighting words. It's like, who is this person? We need to go roll up. It's like, at that point, it's just, you just taking advantage of people. That's not fucking mentorship. Actually, you know what? I feel strongly about this. I feel like I need to look at what the hell is a mentor now, because like maybe, I don't know. I feel a certain way about that. Like someone paying to be a mentor, that's no. A wise and trusted counselor or teacher. Okay. Serve as a trusted counselor or teacher. Serve. That's a very important word right there. What the fuck what just happened? There's a lot of serve here. Advisor or guide, train. Yeah, like no, I would never. No. No, nah. That's. I'm not into money like that anymore. Like, no. That's not a thing that like paying, like, to me, if you're gonna mentor someone, you need to actually have an interest in that person. That's not a thing where it's like, okay, I'll mentor you so long as you give me money. That's not mentoring in my opinion. Like, that's just like, yeah, the coffee chat is like, I mean, it's there. It's like a 15-minute conversation, but it's not really just, it's not like I don't know, it's just to talk. Like, the reason why I do these streams is because I just want to talk to people. One of the things that I learned when, you know, I made a little bit of money is that it's empty. Like, you know, you grow up your whole life being told you got to go make a lot of money, and then what happens when you do? Like, what happens after that? And I didn't really have answers. And it took a while, you know, finally got to a point where I realized it's about just talking with people, connecting with people. That's it. So yeah, that's, I mean, part of the streaming is just that, like, yeah, I'm doing my work or whatever, live or whatever. It's also to show other people, you know, what they can do. Like, you know, with hard work, you can build something interesting, and you can learn how to do stuff like that part. But it's also like, you know, streaming, you get to talk to people. Eventually, I hope. I don't know. I've been streaming for over a year, and for the most, like, honestly, it's mostly me talking to myself. Real talk. It's very rarely like this. I don't know if you would be willing to, but if you go back to just my first streams here on YouTube, which I think started late last year. I was streaming on Twitch beforehand. You won't find any of those. They're not on. Like, I just don't have them. I have them, but they're not, I can't upload them because I used to play actual music that I like. Yeah, it's mostly me talking to myself. So, you know, sometimes I'll be like, you know, fuck this. It's hard for me to like shake that because, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I am okay in life. Technically, people will be getting value from me. It's like they should be fucking thankful that I'm even gracing them with, because like how many people like me are even willing to just talk to random people? I've never come across a lot of people who are into that. Even people who aren't like me, like even just regular people. I'm not saying I'm not regular, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I've done things that the average person just haven't done. And I don't see those types of people saying, you know what, hey, let me go and just like try to just talk to just people and convince them that, hey, maybe you can do these other things. Maybe there's more to life than just chasing money. Sure, you can chase it. You know, a lot of people do, and then they learn the hard way. Fortunately, I learned my lesson early in life. Like I can only imagine how terrible it must feel to finally get to that goal, whatever that goal is, in your 40s and 50s, and then you at that point you realize that it's bullshit. It's like nothing changes, like nothing at all. But yeah, no, I've never charged, or even at like, even if they would have offered, like, no, I would have told them, no, you're not giving me money for that. Especially because they're all young, well, except for one, but they're all younger than me. And I have this, it's not really my philosophy, but it's the truth. The younger you are, the more valuable your dollars are, right? So you shouldn't be looking at your dollar as just a dollar. You should apply a multiple to it. We just looked at it earlier, you know, with that discount rate, you know, compound interest over time. So, you know, me being in my 30s, like what I look like taking money from someone in their 20s, and that's the most valuable dollars that they have. Like at that, in your 20s is like, I mean, that's when you should be like saving as much as possible and, you know, building the habit of investing your money. And I don't mean just like going buying stocks. To me, that's not really investing. Like investing in your community, right? Whether that be, you know, getting involved with things or you know, helping build certain things, you know, whether that be housing or like programs or whatever. Like that's what you should be doing. But at the end of the day, you live in your community, and if you don't want that to be better, and by the way, the only way it gets better is if you invest in it. And invest doesn't just mean money; it also means time and energy and skill, all of that. Yeah, it's on my link tree. I put it out there. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I think it's synced to my calendar ish. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while. But I have more than one calendar, so it's really hard to do. I have like 6 calendars that like all have things, varying different things that I have to do. So generally it's like, you know, if it pops up, if I can't do it, I'll reschedule it, but I'll only do it a few times. So there have been some folks who I've reached out to, mostly just chat with or whatever. It's just like we couldn't agree on a time, and I was like, and by we I mean like I would propose a time and I would just get ghosted. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And that's something that's like I don't really deal with it anymore. I'm just like, all right, you ghost me, all right, I'm gonna go and be okay. Like it's like, you know, some of the people who've ghosted me, it's like I don't think they realize that I have their fucking salary on my wall. Or like I have 2 years of their salary on my wrist. Like they don't, I guess they're not thinking that. And it's just like I have a very low tolerance for that kind of shit these days, especially when it's just like, man, like I'm trying to give to you, I'm trying to pour into you. Like I know a lot of folks may think that they have something to offer me, but it's just like I don't think you do, because a lot of people, they fall back to money, and it's just like I don't really care about that. It's not because I have it, it's just because I just don't care about it anymore. And the things that I'm after now, it's just like I just want to talk to people. I like different perspectives. You know, people know different things that I don't know, and that's the way I learn, is by talking to folks, and it'll get me interested in something, and I'll go learn about it. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I thought about texting you. How can you text me? To reach out and talk to you about some of the goals I want to talk to you about as a mentor. But you don't do yeah, I don't. No, I never did mentorships. Like, I want to be clear. Like, I never did mentorships. Most of the folks who I mentor, they call me their mentor. I never went in and was like, oh yeah, you want to mentor? No, never that. In fact, the first time someone asked me to mentor them, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why? But I mean, it was in person. And she was a former student. I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, you do? Oh, well, if you did, why don't I never hear from you? So I don't, I can't remember. I've never heard from you. I mean, if you don't text me, I don't. Yeah, I forget, man. There's so many people I deal with these days. I don't remember anything. I remember the people who are there all the time. So like one person, he calls me his mentor. I think I said that right. Yeah, maybe he's watching. I don't know. Sometimes he watches. He lives here, by the way. He met me at the freaking go-kart track. Like, I didn't even know who. Like, I remember when he was like, oh yeah, I met you at the track or whatever. I was just like, I don't remember who you are. I'm like, we did. And he had to explain. I was like, yeah, I remember some people being there. But I'm like, sure, I guess I remember you. I don't know. Yeah. I wonder if I have. Oh yeah, bro, you can't. All right. It's partially my bad, but I don't recommend you text me while I'm streaming. You may have just noticed that your number just came up. I don't know. There's not a lot of people here, so it don't matter. But like, just keep that in mind. Like, if I'm streaming, a lot of times I forget to like turn on my thing, and anyone who isn't named in my contact list, their phone number comes up. So for the most part, people don't really message me about anything. Or the people who do this on my Slack, which you will never see because it happens on Slack. Yeah. Hey, it's not my fault. Hey. Casual economy is like, I'm not gonna stalk you. That means, man, he about to hit you up. Yeah, that's just keep that in mind. I think most of the folks who know I stream, like, I mean, they're like, their name will just show up. But even then, I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen, because certain people, you might be able to figure out who they are, and it's just like, I don't need that to happen. And I do have this, I have my streaming mode or whatever, this focus mode, but yeah, I forgot to turn it on. And to be real, I didn't even expect to be here for longer than an hour. I only planned to be around for about an hour or so. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, I don't charge for things in general. Yeah, I don't even like the idea of charging people for stuff. And I guess it has a lot to do with, like, the folks who are around in my life, they've never asked a thing from me. So I have this idea of like paying forward, right? Where it's like, I shouldn't be asking people to give me their money. They worked hard for their money. Now at the same time, like, I do give a lot, which is interesting, but I don't know. I mean, sure. But like, your goals are your goals. What do you expect me to tell you about your goals? Right? Like, everybody has their goals, and I have the strong belief that, like, your goals should be what you want them to be. You shouldn't worry or care about what other people think of your goals, because they're yours. At the end of the day, you're the only one who has to live with yourself, if you meet them or don't meet them. Or let's say, you decide that someone else's opinions are more important than your opinions, and you choose to follow that instead of what you had in mind. What happens when you reach that goal that you never really cared, or that that wasn't yours? Like, I don't know, that to me, that's just like, I would feel bad when it's just like, man, like, I caused somebody to not follow the path that they wanted to follow. Now, I guess it gets to this, like, it's, how can you say you care about someone if you're not willing to allow them to do the things that they want to do? Well, I mean, the answer is probably not what you want to hear. It's just work, bro. Like, that's it. Just, and I don't mean, and when I say work, I think a lot of people, they jump to just, oh, job work. I'm not talking about that. I mean, like, work. Like, do the thing that you say you want to do. There's nothing stopping any of us from doing anything. Like, one of the things that I've noticed a lot about folks who want to get into, for instance, become a programmer for some reason. Like, they're like, oh, like, how do I do this? How do I get this job? It's just like, well, work. It's like, well, what do I do? It's like, well, whatever you want. Like just start doing something, right? Like that phrase, just do it. It's more than just a phrase when you take it seriously, right? Where it's like, you don't need a job to program. At least I didn't. Like, I kind of went over it earlier, how I started programming when I was in the 7th grade. I didn't have a job. I had a purpose for it. Like, I had a goal. Like, I didn't want to do my homework. I fucking hated doing it by hand. So like, I wanted to do that. I had a problem. So it's like, oh, let me solve this problem. That was it. Like, everything that I've learned has been because I wanted to do something, right? Like, when I learned how to do electronic music, it's because I had a goal in mind for that. Like, I wanted to do something. I wanted to make my own music. It wasn't I wanted to go make money or anything. That came later, but it's like, as I do the thing, I learn more about that thing, and I learn more about what it is that I want to do and what are the possibilities of that thing. It's never been this approach of, here's a goal. Like, I don't even know if I believe in goals anymore. Not like that. Like, I set short-term goals. So like every week, you know, I have like something that I want to do. For instance, one of my goals for this week was to stream 3 times. Also to get my numbers up, my watch time up by 5%. I actually got to go look to see like what that number was, because actually, like, a goal should be actionable and like it should be specific. So there's your advice. If you're gonna set a goal, it needs to be specific, something that you can't weasel yourself out of. I think I put these in my general channel, maybe. New week, new goals. What were my goals for this week? So 3 streams, update my video descriptions to follow the new format. I've been doing that. Increase my watch time by $10 to 175 hours. Let's see if I'm at that goal. Cause I actually don't know. I haven't looked. I only look at the end of the week when I'm getting ready to set my goals for the upcoming week. So let's see if I've gotten to whatever that goal was. My goal was 175 hours. So yeah, I've met that goal, 179. Increase live impressions by 5% to 73K. What are my live impressions? I'm almost to that goal. I'm at 72.2K. And yeah, this is my 2nd stream of the week. So I got to stream tomorrow and I will have met 1, 2, 3, all 4 of my goals for the week. Oh, wow. I even got my click-through rate up to 1%. Can you play some of your beats? No, I stopped making beats. What year is this? It's 20. Oh shit. Fuck. What year is this? Hold on. This is my video. 2023. Okay. So the last beat that I made was 13 years ago. All of the beats that I made, gosh, what year? Let's just say that like when I signed, I no longer own my music, which is part of the reason why like I will never be like, no, fuck contract. No, I don't own. Yeah, so no, I can't play that. And like even now, I don't really make anything. Although I did have a loop that I was working on, I guess. But I can't open it because then Logic will cause the whole stream to die. It did last time, and I'm just like, I'm not willing to do that this time. But yeah. Stamp this combo. What do you mean? Oh, you mean like a what do you call that thing? Shit. This thing, man, y'all are starting to see like my memories. I don't remember things like I used to. I used to have a really good memory. I can recall a lot of things now. It's a struggle. I don't know what we were talking about. Life stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Sure. this is not part of my flow. So like, it's gonna take me a while to get used to, like, cause like real talk, I've been streaming on Twitch for almost 20 months, and at no point during that time has this worked. Even when using Streamlabs, even when using like Ecamm or in my Stream Deck to do it, like third-party shit, it never worked. I was not expecting it to work today. So this is very new. So it's not part of my workflow. It's probably gonna take a few months for me to like really just be like, okay, let me do that. But yeah, it's something that I need to put a little bit more effort into, because like I said, I just recently, I'm gonna be working with an editor. So I need to make his life easier. And honestly, that's how I do a lot of things. It's that like a lot of what I do is driven by making someone else's, like trying to help other people do something. And I need that. Like, it can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just go do something, because I don't have the motivation to do a lot of things anymore. I kind of want to go buy another TI-83 just to like relive the days, see if I can even do it. Like do a program on the calculator, or it's like see what I can accomplish now, because like I think I'm better at this than I used to be. Even though I'm not really a programmer anymore. Like I mostly talk shit about programming these days. Could I see your resume? I mean, I guess, sir. It's not really anything interesting on there. There you go. So I probably should update it at some point in life. Also, it's worth noting that because well, people say you shouldn't have a long resume. I tried to make mine 1 page, but I have taken things off to try to make it, you know, shorter, because it would be too much. And if some of it you see here, like right, like other employment, I just like, all right, just list it out down there. But yeah. Nah, we wouldn't be able to use a calculator to do that, unfortunately. Oh, no, I think the TI-83 has that aux port, that analog port. I'm pretty sure you can send like control voltages across it. Well, yeah. Well, actually, no, I know for a fact, because I used to play Tetris, the multiplayer Tetris, using that cord. So if you can send voltages across that, then that means that you can encode data. Now the question is, how many bits of data in that? Basically, like, what's the bandwidth, and how much? Well, actually, no, you can encode it. Like, so long as you can actually encode it. So yeah, I guess technically you could. It would be a little hard to do, because like I would need analog to digital converter. I guess technically I have one. My sound card does that, but that encodes things as PCM, pulse code modulation. And I don't think the calculator uses that. Let's see if ChatGPT can tell me this. All right, so there you are. There's my resume, just if that makes you happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. All right, so let's see if ChatGPT can tell me some things about the TI-83 calculator. What kind of port does the TI-83 calculator have? And what are its capabilities? Oh my gosh! All right, yeah, ChatGPT is all right. This is dope. I know I talk a lot of shit, but like the fact that it can just tell me this. It gives me a name I can at least start with. So commonly referred to as, yeah, sure, I know that. Data transfer. You can connect 2 TI-83 calculators together, transfer programs, functions, and other data. The other data is important. Connectivity to computers. With the right cable and software, you can connect the TI-83 to the computer to transfer programs, update firmware, and backup data. If you can back up data, that means that it's doing some type of communication, but maybe the software on the calculator may not let me do other things. Well, let's see. Some third-party devices were developed to connect to. Okay. Let's see. How is the data encoded and transferred? It's code using. It's proprietary. I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Whoa. We can reverse engineer it. Frame structure. Each data packet, a frame sent between devices has specific structure. Yeah, okay. What is the structure? That's the thing. Actual data bytes, check byte. Oh, it has a check byte. Oh, dope. I didn't know it had error checking. And an in byte. Variable types. Different types of data, like program list and matrices, have different variables. We could probably encode all this stuff as a list, more likely. I think. Error checking, don't care. Bit level encoding. Actual bits transmitted or encoded to ensure reliable transmission. But we don't know. They're saying might bit stuffing. Okay. The bit level. Okay, so maybe not. Okay. Share some of the details of the reverse engineering efforts. No, when I was in college, Google used to be able to like be useful for shit like this, but now Google is trash. All they do is give you ads. Your TI for 20 years ago broke. Man, like you should get another one. Those are freaking dope. Like I think the best way. I think calculators are like, I hate computer calculators, bro. I hate the phone calculators. I like those buttons. I like that tactile feedback. That's why I have this keyboard. I like just banging it, you know? I just fucking destroy this keyboard. It's metal, so it doesn't matter. It's heavy as fuck too. It's like a weapon. Link protocol. The community was able to decipher the link protocol. Understanding allowed developers to create software. Okay. Assembly programming, ROM-DOM simulators. So I did do emulator. Well, okay. I would like technical, getting technical details. All right, so it's using hex. Okay. And data bytes range from 0 to FF. Okay. Byte in the packet. Wait. If a data byte in the packet is C0, same as the starting escape with a preceding DB. Oh, cool. Okay. Cool. So I guess technically you would be able to use the TI-83 to like do stuff with a Slack bot if you really wanted to. Is it worth it? I don't know. Like some people who are really like into tech and all that kind of stuff, like I'm gonna call them the nerds or the geeks, they would do that. I need it to be a purpose. Like I don't do well with things that are just like for no reason. That's why I struggle with the content for the stream. Like I do like my excuse for content. That's a lot of these projects. The only ones that really go anywhere are the ones that I'm going to use to solve a very specific problem that I have, like the Slack bot. The only reason why I'm even willing to keep doing it is because it's solving a pain point. I hate all this manual crap that I have to do with all these streams. So yeah, there's that. By the way, I have a book called Reverse Engineering, I think. Reverse Engineering. Oh wait, you know what? I forget that I don't think Spotlight indexes this right here. Let's see. Reverse. Oh yeah, you were wondering books. Here are books, other books, but they're PDFs. I have books in my bookcase there as well. That's my GMAT. Back in the day when I was trying to get into business school, and then I realized that no, I don't need it. I need to read that. Type systems. Okay, maybe I don't. Okay, I thought I had a book on reverse engineering. I definitely remember reading it. I wonder if I just lost stuff. Maybe that's it. Who knows? Let's try this again. Atomic, big data, functional, rocking, no, not manuals. Papers. Is it in papers? DBT, memory, avatar. Let's see. This is PDF. Space Tim. PDF. That's not it. don't know why these were lost. All right, but none of these are it though. All right, well, I don't know. I literally thought I had a book or a paper on reverse engineering systems, but I don't know where it is. I don't see it. Practical algorithms, incremental. I don't think this is it. No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Oh wait, why is this here? This should be in manuals. Oh, it's fuck. I put it in the wrong place. Manuals. Oh, OC. All right, let's see if this is it. Nope. Patterns of software. I'm just seeing like if I can find this, because like I am convinced that I have a book about this. This isn't it. Make sure. Okay, well, I guess. Oh wait, why is this here? This needs to be in manuals. Okay, this is also a paper. I don't know. Man, what the hell is up with me and my organization? What the fuck? Okay, all right. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I thought I had a thing. Also, why this is a freaking paper? Why is this here? All right. Well, fuck it. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. The 84 plus. TLA streaming. Yeah, I stayed over here. Your channel's going up and being my bus watch. Oh, dude, thanks. Actually, if he's streaming, I kind of like. I've been here for 3 hours, so like we should go look at his stream. By the way, those of you who are watching, like y'all should go follow TLA. He's a lawyer. He's fucking dope. Actually, what's interesting, fun fact, a lot of my mentors and a lot of the people who like I spent a lot of time around are lawyers. But yeah, I freaking love lawyers. Well, anyway. Yeah, so if y'all never heard of TLA, I'm gonna drop a link. I don't know if I think I'm the only one who can actually drop links here. So let me YouTube. How come it doesn't show up as live? Oh no, it does. Here, yeah. Man, see, look at 5.8K watching. All right, yeah. Y'all go to him. He's freaking dope. All right, I'll put that in here. Yeah, so I'm about to go and chill out and go watch this. Thank you all for who stayed with me this long. If you enjoyed this, please consider following, liking, subscribing, all those other things that people do. It does help. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I've decided I'm no longer working on Sunday, which is technically the Sabbath. I'm observing that now. So like no work for me on Sunday. So I will be around tomorrow at some point. I have things that I have to do for some local businesses here. So it'll be after that, probably later in the second half of the day. But anyways, thank you all for joining. Peace out.